Yeah! Woo! Happy Friday, a Bar Cart Friday to those who celebrate. Big Rich, TD, Fletch with you on this Friday morning, and we are absolutely pumped up. We're going to be joined by Tony Kanja of Keg and Bottle, 10 locations around San Diego here in the 8 o'clock hour. He's going to bring in with him Liquid Alchemist, which if you guys are interested, I know you are, I certainly am. But everybody listening, interested in making the holiday season brighter?
Say it slower.
We're going to have apple spice and cranberry spice and pumpkin spice and ginger spice liqueurs mixed into cocktails for us in the 8 o'clock hour. And we are going to, I don't know, ring in the season the way we're supposed to, I suppose.
Right. So, I mean, can we post these online, the recipes here, so people can make this on their Thanksgiving festivities?
Absolutely.
Okay,
so
good.
Big Rich, TD, Fletch, be on the lookout. We are going to make sure that we tag Liquid Alchemist. You can find those products anywhere of the 10 locations, Keg and Bottle, around San Diego County, and we'll put up the recipes as well. And we'll be honest, we'll give you our favorites. We'll rank them at some point. This way you can partake.
Before we start really sinking our teeth into today, we got a crazy weekend on San Diego Sports 760.
Yeah.
So just to clear the air before Travis gets drunk and we can't talk anymore.
Not going to do that. That's crazy.
What?
You're
Never.
at work?
Tonight, 6 o'clock, San Diego State basketball taking on St. Mary's in Las Vegas. It's the Continental Tire main event tournament. That's going to be at 6:30. Pregame coverage will get underway at 6 o'clock with me. Saturday, 5:30, Aztecs football pregame will begin. Jim Russell and me, because J.R. Tolver's off this weekend. So 7:30, Rich, you and Ted will have the call. What time are you hopping on the plane today?
As soon as this show's over, I'm going to be buzzing over to San Diego State University, Fowler Athletic Center, and then bussing over to the airport, hopping on the plane to San Jose.
And then Sunday night, depending on what the Aztecs do tonight against St. Mary's and what Xavier and Washington do, Aztecs will have either Xavier or Washington, and the game will be either at 4:30 or 7 o'clock. So basically, leave it on San Diego Sports 760 all weekend long. You have nothing to worry about.
Nothing to worry about, and we'll be back right here on Monday morning at 6 a.m. We'd like to thank, of course, our guest today. No, I'm kidding.
Later.
I was like, that went fast.
Yeah, 3 hours. No, listen, last night we had Thursday Night Football, Amazon Prime Video. Al Michaels seemed reborn. He was giddy through most of this game. I don't know if somebody said, look, Al, we just need to get you drunk.
Well, he finally didn't have the Broncos on Thursday Night Football.
That's a good point.
He was
This is
like,
a great
bring it
matchup.
on. It
Yeah.
wasn't the Broncos. It wasn't the Jets. It wasn't the Giants. And
Broncos made a good game.
they have been good recently. But don't you feel like last night, neither of those teams even end up caring about the score because of what they both lost?
Yeah, so Mark Andrews out for the season. He left in the first quarter with an ankle injury.
There's some speculation on that. Doc Chow said he could return.
Interesting. Okay. Let's be honest. The Baltimore Ravens will make a playoff run. So who knows? Who knows, right? And Doc Chow knows better than anybody we've ever met when it comes to evaluating video evidence.
Harbaugh said after the game that Mark Andrews most likely will miss the rest of the season. And Doc Chow put on Twitter, it's a high ankle sprain. Surgery is a possibility, but if he doesn't get surgery, he could return.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. And then on the other side of the fence, Joe Burrow leaves in the second quarter and does not return with a wrist injury. Zach Taylor gave no timeline on his return, just referred to it as a sprained wrist. And of course, it's in his throwing arm. And of course, that is going to be a big problem because the Bengals last night, after the Joe Burrow wrist injury, looked like the Bengals who started the season. They were just sort of trying to pull themselves off the mat, and they absolutely could not because this team is built around Joe Burrow and the magic that he makes in the pocket. And this Baltimore defense is too good to lose to a guy named Browning who, has barely played in this league. So it just was one of those nights for the Bengals. It happens. There are injuries, but the problem is this game was so much more consequential than any of us could have imagined. We were talking about the consequences in the AFC North rivalry, right? All these teams have winning records. Like, who's going to get left out of the playoffs? We were talking about what it means for the AFC conference playoff bracket because the Cincinnati Bengals are on the outside looking in, and one win against the Ravens can vault you back into the playoff picture and standing. And then all of a sudden, you may have lost your quarterback for a portion of the season.
Yeah. So a sprained right wrist is what they're calling it. Has that been confirmed? So I guess he must have sprained it in practice, right? I mean, that's why he was wearing this brace beforehand. There's photos of him that they posted on Instagram mistakenly, apparently, because then those were quickly taken down, quickly deleted. Last night, you see him after a throw not get hit, but just wince in pain.
Yeah.
I mean, he grabs his wrist, he's bent over, holding it, goes to the sideline. He tries to throw a couple balls and can't
do it.
And then so goes into the locker room. And it was about maybe, I don't know, 5 minutes into the third, they finally announced he's out, he's done. And now we wait and see how long.
Well, so he started the season with a calf. He got over that probably around week 5. It felt like he was turning the corner. And then they rattle off a 5 straight game win streak, or was it 4 straight? Either way, they were riding a win streak heading into Baltimore. And this could not, into Houston. They lose last weekend to Houston Texans, and then again here. And this kind of is a turning point moment. I mean, well, actually, it very much so is. You lose 2 in a row in the middle of chasing your way back into the postseason and potentially lose your quarterback, because he could not throw the ball. He attempted to, like you said, and as he was going into his backstroke on this pass, his arm literally melted. The ball fell out of his hand, and he just didn't have power.
Feels like the death nail for the Bengals last night, really did, especially because of the division that they play in. Now, I saw this on Twitter and thought it was hilarious that Mike Tomlin's evil magic is making this happen in the AFC North, where take out the Ravens' best option offensively, take out the Cincinnati Bengals quarterback, the potential MVP of the league in years future. And it's just Mike Tomlin, who is now going to waltz his way into the playoffs by beating Jake Browning, PJ Walker, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who the hell knows? Maybe RG3 is going to make a return, and Mike Tomlin's just going to walk into the postseason.
Just picture somewhere in Pittsburgh, we're just hearing an evil laugh,
he has voodoo dolls
as he's looking at his crystal ball. It's turned red last night.
Voodoo dolls all over the office.
Just all of a sudden, like Matt Canada walks in, he goes, "Hey, did I leave my game scripted here?
What the hell's going on?
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna come back. You look busy." He's got like a life-size Joe Burrow, what do they call it? Like effigy burning at an altar in his office, just
holding a lighter under his wrist.
It has begun. Yeah. It's the beginning of the end for the North.
If Joe Burrow is out or dealing with this injury for more than 3 weeks, then that's it.
Oh, dude, yeah. Look, they cannot win without him. We saw
it might be over already. Remember, they lost 3 straight to start the year.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. It feels like it's over, Fletch. I'm just saying, here we are again. Same kind of story we were talking about with the Padres of mathematically it's not over with. But it sure does feel like that's the end of the Bengals.
Well,
for the season.
Let's face it. I mean, it's week 10. They drop now to an even record. It's not over, but it's possibly over, right? You know what I mean? It is, or excuse me, it's week 11. Yeah, we just went beyond week 10. It's week 11. They're 5-5. The reality of the situation is the AFC is a wide open battle. So if somehow this is a 2-week injury, if somehow the Bengals can find a way to get him back in and he can play like Joe Burrow plays to finish the season, and say they get 1 win in the next 2 weeks, yeah, then you can make an argument that with a 6-6 record, they can go on a 4-game run and they're a 10-win football team. And okay.
Right.
But yeah, it does look like the lights flickering for the Bengals. And then you look on the other side of the fence, the Ravens, after that awful second half against the Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson goes down and he's out for the season against the Baltimore Ravens. So, I mean, just dropping like flies around the AFC North. But he goes down. You have a 34-20 final over a division rival. And I don't care if the quarterback goes out in this game. That's a sound beating. Yeah. And that's what the Ravens have done pretty much throughout this run this season. And Lamar Jackson looked great. 264 through the air, 2 touchdowns, 54 yards on the ground.
OBJ all of a sudden is looking good. Yeah, a big play. And you know what? It's almost every catch. He's he's making moves out on the field to get those extra yards.
He got hurt
Yeah.
too last night. He had some shoulder thing going on at the end of the game.
He got whacked on that reception, the long one where he ran away from everybody.
Oh, right.
That
right.
number 55
Where he
in blank-
cut back the other direction.
Wilson, yeah, just ran him down, and absolutely, I mean, he arrived with bad intentions, and he brought him to the turf. Yeah, he messed him up pretty good.
Now, not that I was talking about OBJ like he needed to be signed to some team, but don't you feel like 31 teams missed this offseason? Because it's not like he signed for a ton of money in Baltimore. It's not like anything. They took a risk, I guess you could say, but he looks like OBJ of 5 years ago.
But hang on.
No, I know. I'm not saying I was saying anything either.
No. But well, no, I wasn't going to say that. Look, because whether you did or you didn't, I think is irrelevant. I'm just going to say yes, you're right. He's talented. He's also old, and that's where the risk comes in.
Yeah.
But he's also poison in certain
That
locker
is
rooms.
absolutely correct.
Remember what he did to the Cleveland Browns? Like, that was awful nice having his dad put out highlight videos of how many times Baker Mayfield missed him. Wow. What a guy. Gotta have him on the roster. So the only teams who have wanted to bring him in have been teams with strong cultures. The Rams with Sean McVay, John Harbaugh with the Ravens. I mean, could he survive a Pete Carroll? I think so. Or, I mean, I guess you could used to say that about the Patriots and Bill Belichick, but you get my point. He needed to be in a strong culture, and Harbaugh's Baltimore Ravens is one of them.
Yeah, and it helps when your buddies are the quarterback.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Him and Lamar are tight, but Nelson Aguilar has a big game. Odell Beckham has a big game.
Rashad Bateman looking good.
He's finally figured it out. I mean, really good and healthy. This team is dangerous. Lamar has weapons. Mark Andrews, his favorite weapon, obviously, is out for the season potentially. We'll find out. But this team has weapons out of the backfield. They're healthy out of the backfield. They're healthy at receiver. They're unhealthy at tight end. But Mark Andrews was having kind of an up and down year anyway, so who knows how much it affects Lamar Jackson. This team is one of those teams who's built for this part of the season.
Right.
So the tackle that got Mark Andrews, by the way, is the one they're looking at banning next year. That hip drop tackle.
Yeah.
Remember a few weeks ago we had that story. And so that's the one. And it looked violent last night, man. And when the dude really just grabs you by the waist and then drops down, it's no wonder everyone doesn't get high ankle sprains when that happens.
Yeah. And this is a team that 3 weeks ago I literally said fraud alert. They're gonna crumble. There's no way. And I mean, they have thrown it in my face at this point.
Well,
they look legit.
It's easy to do that, right? At different points of the season, because you just don't believe at times that a team is going to be able to right the ship. That's when you always go back to coaching. That's when you always think to yourself, like, all right, well, who's the coach and what has he done in these situations in the past? And, what do the injury situations look like? If everyone's healthy and they're just losing close games and it's a good coach and a good culture, a lot of times they can pull themselves out of it. And that's what John Harbaugh has built, is a good culture. Obviously, he's a very talented head coach. And as long as, and this is the huge caveat to any praise that I'm going to give to the Baltimore Ravens, as long as they find a way to keep Lamar Jackson healthy, they can win as many games as they want to, because he gives you a chance in all of them. Lamar Jackson is awesome. He's an otherworldly NFL talent with what he's able to do with his arms and his legs. The problem is he has yet to stay healthy over the past 2 seasons, and it's been a big problem. All right, so the Baltimore Ravens beat those Cincinnati Bengals last night. We were just talking about Thursday Night Football. Score was 34-20. Ravens rushed out to a double-digit first-half lead, did not look back. Lamar Jackson, 264, 2 touchdowns through the air, added 54 on the ground. Joe Burrow left the game in the second quarter with a wrist injury, did not come back in. Bengals head coach Zach Taylor gave no timeline for a return, referred to it, though, as a sprained wrist. Mark Andrews, starting tight end for your Baltimore Ravens, left the game in the first quarter with an ankle injury. He is likely done for the year. Aztecs on the road tonight, and tomorrow we'll explain why. Men's basketball taking on St. Mary's in Vegas, the Continental Tires main event tournament. Tip-off for the 2-1 Aztecs at 6:30 tonight. You can listen to all that action on San Diego Sports 760. And the San Diego State football team will be on the road this weekend. A Saturday kickoff 7:30 against them San Jose Spartans. Pregame gets underway at 6:30 tomorrow night on your home of the Aztecs, San Diego Sports 760. And this is a story that started breaking, we'll say, couple of days ago, but we have to discuss it now because it's gone national to the point where it's making its rounds on CNN and some other national news providers out there. Charissa Thompson, who does the in-studio NFL show for Amazon Sports throughout the NFL season, also hosts her own podcast with Erin Andrews, a former sideline reporter. During a recent interview with Part of My Take with the guys at Barstool, admitted that she will make up sidelines reports when she can't get a hold of a head coach at halftime. And so we have the sound here. Give this a listen.
Maybe.
Almost. He's playing
Everything's playing,
and he's
it's
giving the
not
hands to
working.
the
Okay,
sky.
I don't know.
Okay.
Hang on. I'll go to the link.
Hey everybody,
All right.
I'm here on the sideline, and
Is that what she sounds like? So Charissa Thompson basically said, no coach is going to get mad at me if I say, hey, we need to stop hurting
it should
ourselves.
work now.
Okay, very good. Yeah, let's hear from
I
her.
haven't been fired for saying it, but I'll say it again. I would make up the report sometimes because the coach wouldn't come out at halftime, or it was too late. And I was like, I didn't want to screw up the report. So I was like, I'm just going to make this up because first of all, no coach is going to get mad if I say, hey, we need to stop hurting ourselves. We need to be better on third down. We
Yep.
need to stop turning the ball
Pressure
over.
the quarterback.
We need, yeah, exactly. and do a better job of getting off the field. Like they're not going to correct me on that.
Right.
So I'm like, it's fine. I'll
It
just
w-
make up the report.
It would
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
look,
So she's right in some ways and
Mhm.
she's very wrong in others. And I would love to hear your guys' opinion, but at first blush, I was not exactly like blown away by this sideline, or I should say this interview about the sideline reporting. I listened to the interview and I was like, ooh, that's a weird thing to admit publicly.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and I get it. It's very provocative because your expectation when you're hearing from somebody who's considering themselves and being trumpeted as a news source, like a first person news source, you're expecting to hear the truth.
that is correct.
You know, so when Charissa Thompson or anybody says, I spoke to Coach XYZ, here's what they said they need to do in the second half, your expectation is she spoke to Coach XYZ and he told them what they need to do in the second half. So from that standpoint, from a journalism standpoint, oh boy, that is, you are far from home in terms of capital J journalism.
Well, and I mean, in your title as a sideline reporter,
Right.
you
right.
are on the sideline reporting what you were told,
Yeah.
or heard, I suppose,
or saw.
or saw. Yeah. She's not doing that.
Right.
She's just making a story.
Right.
Now, is she wrong of what she said? Probably not, but you can't report it if it wasn't told to you.
Yeah.
You can't.
Couple of things. I think she said the quiet part out loud. I wonder if she's the only one that does it. I'm not accusing anyone of doing it, but she said it. How many other people have done it?
To your point,
Well,
Mike Freeman of USA Today, I guess, went back and listened to portions of the podcast she does with Erin Andrews, who it sounded like in their conversation chimed in with, yeah, oh, I've done that too.
Secondly, I
that's a
saw
problem.
there was a lot of piling on Miss Clarissa on Twitter, on Instagram, on CNN, on everywhere as of the last 24 hours or so. And I get why people are mad, but why are we now attacking every little part about Clarissa Thompson? Like Charissa Thompson. She admitted it. I give her credit for that, I guess. It's probably not the right thing to do. It's BS to a certain extent, but it's not going to make me furious or impact my personal life to a measure where I need to go out and say something about it.
Well, I would say, I don't know if I'm giving her credit for it. It's not like she was asked and she just told the truth. I think now she's like, oh my God, why did I say this? This is saying the quiet part out loud. She should probably not be a sideline reporter anymore. I mean, that should probably be the end of her career.
So this from the Mike Freeman USA Today article. It was in 2022, the first time we heard of this, during her Calm Down podcast with Fox Sports' Erin Andrews, that Thompson admitted making up sideline reports. Andrews said that she's done the same thing. And this is a quote from from Thompson saying, I was like, oh, coach, what adjustments are you going to make at halftime? And he goes, that's great perfume you're wearing. And I was like, oh God, this isn't going to work. I'm not kidding. I'll just make up that report. So both of them admitted to doing it. To your point, Ben, Fletch, I don't know how many people do this. I don't know how many sideline reporters, other than these two, are willing to make up reports. Here's what I do know. I know that there's pressure in media. There's pressure in media to get clicks, to get views, to have the scoop, to have the story, to have something. You know, if you're the sideline reporter who, when they throw down to the sideline, and I don't know how many times it happens a season, but say a quarter of the season, you got nothing from a head coach as he's running off the field into the sideline, nothing. Well, maybe that's a problem. Maybe all of a sudden the producer's in the truck going, really? You couldn't get a sentence from the coach? You couldn't? Okay. And then all of a sudden executives are being, come in and they ask their questions like, hey, how's the broadcast going? What we're seeing on television seems great. What's happening behind the scenes? Well, the problem is Carissa keeps saying she can't get a hold of the coach at halftime. She keeps saying that, really? Well, it's been 2 weeks in a row right now, boss. Okay, well, maybe we'll talk to her. And all of a sudden, an executive talks. So you get the point. There's pressure. Yeah. However, you can still have something that you saw at halftime.
Correct.
Like the coach sprinted off the field, avoided all of my questions. And then as I pressed, I was actually pushed away. So there is a little bit of a secluded culture as they're leaving the foot, whatever you want to say.
Which is real and sometimes more interesting.
Well,
When we've not been pressured to bring a guest on, but when we've tried to reach out to guests in the past, we said no. We were told no by X. And guess what? In silence, sometimes that's even saying a little more.
Yeah. See, that's actually a good point.
So that was Buster Olney on Twitter yesterday. I actually thought his tweet was one of the better ones. He said, sometimes it's better just to say, yeah, the coach isn't telling us anything right now. Something must be going on.
Which, I mean, as a viewer, would you be upset with? I wouldn't be at all.
No, it wouldn't bother me. It wouldn't bother me in the least bit. So look, do I appreciate the amount of career pressure she feels like she's under, both because it's still kind of a guy's world out there in the sport of the NFL, and she's a woman, and she feels like she's probably under the gun from a gender standpoint. I get all that, but
and she's really good.
Oh yeah,
like last night on Amazon Prime, I thought she was great hosting the little booth on the sideline there.
Talented broadcaster.
Yeah, well, I mean, unless she's making it up.
Well, see, that's the problem.
Yeah.
See, that's the problem. Now, unfortunately for Carissa Thompson, and unfortunately for Amazon or Fox or NBC or anybody who hires her,
or any sideline reporter or any reporter at this point,
I'll cross over to news. Okay, so a lot of articles have come out about if Carissa Thompson was black, would she have already lost her job? If she was, a man, would this even be a story? Like, there's defense on either side. Fire her, don't fire her, whatever. I'll give you an example. Brian Williams, years ago, right? He was on MSNBC. He had a big show. He was a talking head. Lies about being downed or being fired at while taking a helicopter ride during the Iraq wars. Remember that?
Right. Yes.
And he like the story, he kept embellishing the story, and he told it many, many times. And then I don't know who thought of it, but somebody fact checked it and was like, oh no, that never happened like that.
Right.
Maybe it was a producer who was tired of hearing him tell the story and knew it was a lie, who sourced it to someone else and gave them the avenues to research it. I don't know. But for whatever reason, he made up this story, and he immediately lost his job with MSNBC.
Yeah.
Or with NBC News, and then he went to MSNBC, I think is how it went. But either way, I mean, it doesn't matter gender, black, white, it doesn't matter, or excuse me, gender, male or female, doesn't matter race, black, white. Like the news is supposed to be about the news. It's supposed to be about the truth. And if you lie, like they're going to be consequences.
Well, you don't have integrity anymore.
Exactly.
So once the integrity's gone, how are you delivering me the news of what should be factual news? But I mean, we've seen, how many weather reports have you seen of you're in a hurricane and there was go to YouTube and look up hurricane canoe. There's a weather reporter in a canoe because, oh my gosh, the flooding is intense. And someone literally walks behind the canoe.
Yeah.
The water's up to his ankles.
Okay, that made me think of something that everyone is so pissed off about this story, or at least feigned outrage on social media. It's not like Fox and CNN haven't been lying to us for years.
Well,
Like sports journalism,
and-
we just hold to a higher standard.
but that is the problem.
But yeah,
I mean that is the problem, because now we're questioning everything.
Yeah, but
That's the issue.
The one point that I really appreciated in the USA Today article from Mike Freeman was the fact that the reason why this is a problem is because and it's not a problem that's just obviously located in the sports world or the news world. It's just a problem in general, is nobody trusts anything anymore. So that's when conspiracy theories run rampant. That's when you can be misled, and somebody who's charismatic can get in front of a group of people and just say lies and garner the faith and the loyalty of people. It's an unfortunate reality we're all living in now, where you have people who are supposed to have integrity, are supposed to be telling you the truth as they heard it from a first person source, making it up. And like you said, it happens on Fox, it happens on CNN, it happens on NBC, it happens on News Nation, it happens everywhere. It happens everywhere. It doesn't matter where you get
Everything
your
you've
news.
ever heard is a damn lie.
Yeah.
You
By
know
the
it's
way-
not a lie, boys? The
What's
three
that?
of us have lost a crap ton of weight.
That is true.
We
That
have
is true.
lost a lot of weight, and it's because of SDFatLoss.com. It's been like 2.5 months. Each of us are down over 30 pounds. If you're looking at your calendar and you're seeing something in the distance, like a wedding, like a gathering, a family reunion, that's what it's called. Get on over to SDFatLoss.com so you can impress Aunt Bertha with how skinny you've gotten.
Like at Thanksgiving.
Yes, 858-665-3211. Get your free consultation today from Miss Chloe and Wayne. Find out the secret of losing up to 1 pound of fat every single day. No exercise, no counting points or calories, no prepackaged meals, no hormones, no drugs, no injections, no surgeries, just good old-fashioned dieting.
People used to say, I look like a turkey. And
You
now
did.
they say, nice yams.
You were a stuffed turkey, too. Now you're one of those sad-looking skinny turkeys. I would not eat you if
No,
they paid
One
me
of those
to.
tiny baby
a
Cornish
Cornish hen, a Cornish game hen.
people would
Like
be so
tiny Tim's Cornish game hen.
you have this giant plate with the silver topper, and I pull it off, and all of a sudden it's just like a bunch of lettuce and kale, and it's just a tiny baby Cornish hen.
It's still
So are you
steamy.
sick of being a fat turkey like Rich? Well, get skinny today. SDFatLoss.com. That's SDFatLoss.com. Phone number one more time, 858-665-3211. Oh my God, he's so good at that.
All right, coming
How
up
come
next-
no one said to Carissa Thompson, like, so you're admitting you fake it?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, listen, there were men who are outraged, and every woman rolled their eyes and went, yeah, us too. Yeah. So
I got the joke, TD.
Yeah,
It was a good one.
That was good.
yeah.
All right.
Anyways, coming up next, we got to run more next.
This update is presented by AutoZone. Starting off here with Thursday Night Football, Ravens beat the Bengals 34-20 in Baltimore. That loss is the last thing the Bengals are worried about, though. Quarterback Joe Burrow leaving the game in the first half with an apparent wrist injury. Burrow declining to comment last night. It has been reported that he's getting an MRI today. Bad news for the Ravens as well. Star tight end Mike Andrews injures his ankle in the win. Coach John Harbaugh saying he will most likely miss the season. Busy weekend for San Diego State, starting with basketball. Boys heading to Las Vegas for the Continental Tire main event at the T-Mobile Arena. They open up with St. Mary's tonight. Depending on that result, they have Xavier or Washington on Sunday. Aztecs football heading to San Jose State tomorrow. They're taking on the Spartans. Pregame coverage gets going at 5:30, kickoff at 7:30. Starting Stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions with the former free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Big Rashidi and Fletch on a Bar Cart Friday here at San Diego Sports 760. And you can listen to win a 4-pack of tickets to Legoland, California, because Legoland holidays are here, presented by Hallmark Channel, celebrating tomorrow through January 7th with festive character shows, food, and it's going to snow there and more. Visit Legoland.com/California for details, or keep it locked in here because we will be giving those away today on the show.
I love it. I love it so much. Been to Legoland many times. We're season pass holders. That place is magical, especially around the holidays. Okay.
Did you go yesterday?
Did not.
Okay.
Did not. We
All right.
we were going to, actually, I didn't go to SeaWorld, but my son and my wife went to SeaWorld because they're having their whole holiday season there as well. But you know, what's interesting is when I think about how I'm enjoying my holidays, obviously amongst friends, I got you guys, Tony Kanji coming in to the studio later, Bar Cart Friday, brought to you by Keg and Bottle.
Tony Kanji going to be muddling?
He's going to be muddling stuff. I mean, we were talking about a pre-show. Travis, he'll just take out his muddler anywhere.
Yeah, no, Tony will.
Well,
Travis won't.
Travis will too.
So we've seen Travis's muddler.
Everybody has.
Yeah, it's
Who
true. That
hasn't?
is true.
Seen him muddle.
That is true. I mean, Tony's though, like he's got a big muddler.
He's got a big old
He's
muddler.
got to use 2 hands.
And he knows how to use it.
He does.
And so he's bringing it in studio and he's going to make some craft cocktails. I mean, I got my family coming down for Thanksgiving. Like, it's very much so home for the holidays next week and this week. For Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines, they got a very different season greetings. So obviously, Jim Harbaugh, the head coach of the Michigan football team, was suspended by the Big Ten, could not be on the sideline for the Penn State game. And the Wolverines went to Beaver Stadium and beat the brakes off of the Penn State Nittany Lions. Now, after sending...
Why is it called Beaver Stadium?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Was built by beavers.
But it's in Happy Valley. Like that's the name of the area.
Yeah.
It's Penn State Nittany Lions.
Mhm.
There's no, it doesn't, that's my thing.
Well, I mean, like, let's put it all together. Happy Valley Beaver Stadium.
Okay.
So
So now we got it.
I think
So a bunch of
somebody...
perverts made it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking happened.
Tuesdays they do like a special food night.
I don't even know what that means.
Me neither.
Taco Tuesdays.
Why didn't you just say that? You're
Michigan
speaking in
I
innuendo.
didn't know how far I could go.
Oh no, trust me, you
Yeah.
can go far. He's got a dump button. So do we. It's labeled F.
Oh, that's right.
Michigan currently ranked #2 in the college football playoff poll. Also, last night I got the feeling watching John Harbaugh on the sideline. I'm like, look at this sweet guy. But when you look at Jim Harbaugh, you're like, devil.
Well, yeah, and also there's always this like somewhat. I know he looks very placid when you look at him, but there's crazy behind those eyes.
The fire's burning.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh terrifies me. But you look at Jim Harbaugh and you look at what Connor Stallions did, and you look at this whole situation, and you say, okay, if he did something real bad, like say they used university funds and bought plane tickets, and there was correspondence with Connor Stallions specifically linking Jim Harbaugh to him, and this is a much deeper hole that we need to dig before we find out exactly the extent of it. Why did the Big Ten step in and after 2 weeks go, we're opening an investigation. We've closed our investigation. 3 games. Shame on you. Done. Thank you,
How
everybody.
many games were
Good
there
night.
left in the regular season, Rich?
There were 3 games left.
Oh, weird.
And so Jim Harbaugh was fighting it at first, but I guess behind closed doors, my guess, this is all speculation, that Tony Petitti, the commissioner of the Big Ten, was like, look, if you take this agreement, I'm going to talk to the NCAA and I'm going to tell them that you worked with us. And I'm going to tell them that you're you made it abundantly clear to us that that you're going to be working with NCAA in any way they can for the investigation, blah, 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 blah. And so he just accepted it. So all the legal crap goes away.
And now he'll become like Leonardo DiCaprio's character in Catch Me If You Can, and he will now work with the NCAA about to find the cheaters because he knows how to do it better than anybody
Jim
else.
Harbaugh is Frank Abagnale Jr.
That's what it was. I was like, I can't remember his name.
Good movie.
Yeah, it's a great
Tony
movie.
Petita is Tom Hanks. He's like, Buzz, no! Wait, a different movie. You get it.
Joel Klatt yesterday saying that he thinks Harbaugh is going to stay at Michigan next year also, and that they're going to figure this whole thing out. And he said that's why all the coaches were so emotional after the win at Penn State at Beaver Stadium. That's why all the players seem to really have Harbaugh's back, is because they all know he's coming back.
Well, yeah, boss man.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be very honest with
Win
each
one
other.
for the Gipper.
Yeah. And also, keep your job,
Right.
because there's a lot of coaches out there who are sitting pretty under Jim Harbaugh.
Like my view of it was, this guy's crying on the sideline because he wants Harbaugh to take him to the NFL with him. But maybe it's that he's coming back.
Oh no, yeah. Coach Moore was making it very clear his allegiances.
I effing love you, coach. Ah!
Beaver Stadium. The name comes from a heroic amputee and American Civil War veteran who grew up in the. I'm going to guess this is not a Spanish word due to its location, but is it the Juniata Valley?
Juniata.
Juniata
You know what?
Valley.
It's actually a Native American word.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
There we
yeah.
go. That would make sense. James A. Beaver.
Wow. James A. Beaver,
Everybody-
Civil War hero.
Civil War hero Jimmy Beaver.
Dude, I just assumed there was a bunch of creeps who were like, yeah, we're in the happiest valley of them all. And check out our Beaver Stadium. Like, I really
You went there.
I did. And I
You
never
played in Beaver Stadium.
I never looked it up. I was inside Beaver Stadium. Look, the point is,
Wow.
Jim Harbaugh,
Never mind.
there's
Too far. It's too
Look,
far.
everybody relax. Jim Harbaugh, this is not the end of the story. I promise you what's going to happen is the NCAA is going to conclude its investigation, and either people are going to be outraged because they found nothing suspiciously, where they're like, yeah, it turns out it was just that Connor guy. Thank God he's gone. Let's
He's
move
just a
on."
crazy Michigan fan who was trying to help out.
Yeah. I mean,
And
yeah, but what about Michigan paying him like a salary? Yeah, that's weird. Anyway, isn't the NFL playoffs going on?
have you heard sideline reporters are lying to us?
So now
Or-
what happens if Michigan wins the national championship
Well,
this year?
I was gonna say, or
Which they very well could.
the NCAA comes down like with, if this is a huge conspiracy,
Vacated wins.
yeah, then it's
Vacated championships.
sanctions, taking away scholarships.
They're going to Reggie Bush him.
It could be one of those situations where they're super heavy-handed and then they start giving things back years to come, but they just want to wipe the slate clean of Jim Harbaugh at Michigan.
This is such an eye roll.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
it's gonna
Mhm.
change college sports because it sets precedents. Anytime you have these issues, it just changes the way things are done. So we'll see what
I'm
ripple effect.
Just
it
a
has.
warning to the rest of the coaches in the
Mhm.
Big Ten. You better be freaking buttoned up, man.
Oh, yeah.
Because if Jim Harbaugh decides to go Jason Bourne on your asses and dig through
It's
everything
gonna
and
happen.
just let everything loose of everything you've done wrong, you are going to regret this so hard. What's the thing you always say about glass houses?
Don't throw stones.
That's the thing.
Have you never heard this before?
No, but I think it's a really clever phrase.
I made it up. Anyways, don't Travis, don't tell him a word. Don't you say a word.
Yes.
Wait, is that a phrase? Because when Rich first said that,
no.
First time you heard it here.
Yeah,
It's a phrase. It is a phrase.
Well, yeah,
it's
it's
one
a
that I
phrase.
made
this
up.
radio host can spit some
What?
poetry.
You know what?
Turns out you stole it.
Jim Harbaugh from the Bible. Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh. It's been around for 2,000 years.
It's 2,000 plus
You're
years.
only 27.
Yeah, I think the Bible was around even before Christ.
Jim Harbaugh. Yeah, the Old Testament. Jim Harbaugh is going to need a ride, TD,
Well, he is gonna need a ride. He's,
He's
gonna need a ride. And you know what?
to the NFL.
Listen, I feel like he wouldn't mind if I, drove over and picked him up in my GMC pickup truck. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. He's gonna love it just like I love it. And I know I talk about my truck all the time, but it's because I actually do love my truck. And I also love my dealership, North County Buick Cadillac GMC. Look, when I was going to look for my truck, I could not find the one I was looking for. I was looking for it online. And then I realized, hold on, North County Buick Cadillac GMC, they have a ton of inventory. They know how to get the vehicles there. So when you're out searching for that perfect truck, you don't need to look any further. And I'm telling you, they are the best dealership here in San Diego. And I'm not the only one saying that, because they were voted San Diego's best domestic auto dealer in the San Diego Union Tribune Readers Poll. And 'tis the season. We are in the holidays. We're in the middle of it. And General Manager Jamie and his team over there, they are offering exceptional Black Friday savings, which Black Friday already next week. But you can get the savings right now on Cadillac, Buick, and GMC models all month long, including on the GMC Sierra 1500 SLE 4x4. This car is absolutely magnificent. There is no better truck on the planet. I promise you that. Go ahead and sit inside of a GMC Sierra. Go ahead. It's like you're sitting in a cockpit. 13.4-inch touchscreen off to your right. You got a 12.3-inch driver information center right in front of you, and it's comfortable, and the thing will do whatever you want it to do. GMC Sierra is the most dependable full-size truck out there. So what are you waiting for? Go visit them in the heart of the Escondido Auto Mall to test drive and experience the Sierra 1500 for yourself today, or shop all their deals online at ncbcg.com. North County Buick Cadillac GMC, exceeding your expectations every time. What you got there, Fletch?
Bengals might be losing a draft pick because of how they handled the Joe Burrow injury pregame.
You got to be kidding me. We're going to talk about it coming up next. They didn't disclose the injury? Yeah. Ooh. Fire.
Coming up next, Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals have a huge problem on their hand, or maybe their wrist. That's next. So we have some breaking news coming out of the NFL. All of a sudden, after Thursday Night Football, and there was speculation pregame because Joe Burrow, per the Cincinnati Bengals Twitter site or X site, caught him wearing a right wrist brace as he was deboarding or boarding the plane, either leaving Cincinnati or heading to Baltimore. I believe
It was landing in Baltimore.
Yeah, landing in Baltimore, and it was actually a picture that was posted on their Instagram account, right?
And
Yeah,
then it was
yeah.
quickly taken down.
It was
Deleted
quickly
immediately.
taken down. That's correct.
But someone got a screenshot, of course. So Adam Schefter this morning, about 39 minutes ago, tweeted out that the NFL is investigating why the Bengals did not list quarterback Joe Burrow on their injury report when the team posted the picture of him wearing the device on his wrist. Blah, 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 blah. The initial picture of Burrow wearing a device looked like a soft cast on his thumb was posted by the Bengals only to be deleted. The NFL routinely looks into these matters and will do so in this instance. Teams can be fined or even potentially lose draft picks.
I mean, it's pretty clear to me, guys. Joe Burrow was going bowling right before. Yeah. I mean, Baltimore's known for their great lanes.
Yeah, it's a good point. Slick alleys.
I have to do another lap.
No, that's okay.
How about no? I think it's a good point. Either that or look. I mean, Joe Burrow, and this is something that I don't like to talk about because I don't have all the sources. But you ever notice how much bigger his right arm is than his left arm? Just saying. I'm just saying. Forearm.
Wait, that's a lap.
Wait, how is that?
Wait,
lap?
how come you never have to do laps?
I did a lap.
What?
I'm just saying, like,
What?
addiction comes in many different forms,
Look at-
guys.
yeah, maybe he's got to keep the wrist warm.
Okay, how about
You know?
this? You shake his left hand, you're like, oh, normal guy.
Yeah.
You shake his right hand, you're like, oh
Whoa,
my God.
easy, Popeye.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa. And then he's not arm wrestling. Let's put it that way.
That's right. Well, kind of.
Well, all right.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's just saying.
So in reality,
he drives a stick shift.
now he played in the game yesterday, meaning the Bengals didn't do anything all that wrong. But if he was hurt pregame and he was questionable at all, and there was thoughts of keeping him out of this game, and he leaves due to that injury that he should have been listed as questionable for, Las Vegas is going to want answers more than anyone.
Well, see, that's look, they did a lot wrong here because think about back to the Bijan Robinson
Migraines.
situation. Okay, so they knew that was happening Saturday morning, and he didn't end up on the injury report. And so there, I mean, I forget what ultimately happened with the Falcons, what the punishment was for it. But you're in a lot of trouble if you don't do that stuff. And I mean,
this is why Bill Belichick literally lists every single person on his team as questionable who has the minorest thing.
oh yeah, everybody ends up on. I mean, everybody ends up on the injury report in New England. I don't think there's a week that Tom Brady was there in New England where he didn't appear on the injury report. And his whole thing was everybody's hurt all the time. You can't question it. And he's
so now
right.
this picture on social media, though, that was put up and then quickly deleted, is really the axis of all this drama now. So that social media in turn foiled.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you would think so.
The I should say the crummy thing about what happened to the Bengals is like, okay, yeah, you lose your quarterback, but you make it worse on yourself because you're trying to hide an injury. I get it. There are defensive coordinators, and many of them were around when I was still playing the NFL, who would target a quarterback where he's injured. He's got a knee, guys. I'm going to remind you again. He's got a knee. Okay, let's move on. Okay, he's got a wrist, guys. Just letting you know, his wrist is hurting him. So,
And that could have been part of it last night anyways. If you notice a couple plays before, Joe Burrow got sacked and got thrown to the ground pretty hard, and the pressure came down on that wrist. Now, it's happening fast. It's football. It's quick, but
you got to brace yourself.
you can't tell me that that's not part of it.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a part of it. But if he's wearing a wrist brace coming into Baltimore, it means that he injured himself. Otherwise, he wouldn't be wearing it.
Unless he was going bowling.
Unless he was going bowling. Or maybe
Like immediately.
he's got an addiction, which is fine. Look, everybody likes what they
Everybody's
like.
got an addiction.
Everybody has their things. Anyways, we have
It's
a
vice.
busy NFL slate, or do we, coming up this weekend in the NFL. Jared Smith will give us his best bets, and we got a Bar Cart Friday coming very shortly here. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch.
Hour 2, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. This update presented by Staples Stores. Ravens took down the Bengals 34-20 in Baltimore on Thursday Night Football. The loss is the last thing the Bengals are worried about after quarterback Joe Burrow leaves the game in the first half with an apparent wrist injury. Burrow declining to comment last night, but it is reported he will get an MRI on his wrist today. Bad news for the Ravens in the win as well. Star tight end Mark Andrews, he injured his ankle. Coach John Harbaugh saying he's most likely going to miss the rest of the season. Busy weekend for San Diego State. Basketball is in Las Vegas for the Continental Tire main event at the T-Mobile Arena. They open up with St. Mary's tonight. Depending on that result, they'll have either Xavier or Washington on Sunday. Aztecs football heading to San Jose State, taking on the Spartans tomorrow. Pre-game coverage gets underway at 5:30. Kickoff with Ted and Rich at 7:30. Staples Holiday Deals means amazing savings for the holiday season on hot tech like laptops, game systems, earbuds, and more. Right now, save up to $350 on select PCs. In-store only. Offer ends 11/18. See an associate for details. Have yourself a merry little holiday deal at Staples.
Yeah! Woo! Happy Friday to those who celebrate. Happy Bar Cart Friday to all, and to all a good day, sirs and ma'ams who are listening to this show. We thank you anyway you're listening. Terrestrial radio on the free iHeartRadio app. But if you are listening on the free iHeartRadio app, share the link with a friend. Best way to support the show. We definitely appreciate you listening anyway you do find us. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you this morning. Tony Kanja of Keg and Bottle is going to be coming in with Liquid Alchemist. Ooh. So this is a beverage company that makes mixers, liqueurs. That's my best definition of it. There's an apple spice one, a pumpkin spice one, a cranberry sauce one. There's dude, yeah, a ginger spice one. So we're gonna have something.
She was my favorite Spice Girl.
Something called a nice and toddy. Okay, that's gonna. You were so close.
Second favorite Spice Girl.
So close to running a lap right now. You are playing with fire, my friend.
You're going to argue with me that Ginger Spice wasn't the best Spice Girl?
Oh my god.
Maybe Posh.
Posh.
You can make that argument.
Posh,
you can make 100%.
That argument. Dude, look up Posh.
Yeah.
Posh Spice.
Posh Spice.
Give yourself a Google.
Solid.
Woo! Anyways, maybe it's
Posh Spice now.
I mean, maybe that's what Joe Burrow was doing with that wrist the night before the game. We don't know.
Looking up Spice Girl pics?
Probably. He had to wear a wrist brace. Anyways, look, the point is, Tony Kanja's coming in. He's going to bring Liquid Alchemist. We're going to have a ton of fun in the 8 o'clock hour. So all eyes on the 8 o'clock hour. Also, Legoland tickets coming up. Still got a 4-pack to give away. We're going to give those away very shortly as well. We just got through week 11 start, 34-20 dismantling of the Bengals on Thursday Night Football. But we look ahead to this NFL weekend, and it's a whole lot of nothing. Yeah.
I thought there were some pretty good games.
You keep that rolling. I'm
Prime
fine
time's
with that.
good, right?
Yeah, prime time is good because you have Chiefs, Eagles.
How about Steelers, Browns?
By the way,
there's some
that's
intrigue there. Bears, Lions, Justin Fields returns, divisional matchup. Chargers,
whoa,
Packers.
hang on. Bears, Lions. The Bears are going nowhere.
Yeah, but Justin
Bears,
Fields is back
Lions?
this week. Lions are fun to watch. I mean, you can convince me that's a good game. Raiders are all of a sudden on a hot streak. They got the Dolphins. That's fun.
Yeah, I feel like we're stretching here. We're reaching for it.
I look at 3 games and I think, and you're right, the primetime game's good. I think Minnesota at Denver, both teams super hot right now.
Eagles at Chiefs? Come on.
That's Monday Night Football.
Yeah, Monday night.
I'll
Right.
That's
take
not
it.
the weekend slate. We'll have all day Monday morning to talk about that.
Mhm.
Rich,
Go ahead.
Commanders, Giants.
By the way, next week.
Rich, Cowboys, Panthers.
Oh, God.
Titans, Jags.
Okay, Dallas, they were favored 17.5 against the Giants. What are they favored against the Carolina Panthers?
Probably a ton. But it's on the road, though. Dak historically is not good on the road. Like, who knows? And also, Dak coming off a big win's pretty bad. So Vegas understands all that. But here's the thing. We thought last week was going to suck,
It's
too.
only a 10.5 point spread.
Last week, we thought the weekend was going to be awful. Last week, we got the most finishes with a field goal in NFL history.
You beat me there.
Last night, we thought that game was going to be great. It ended up being very lopsided.
You beat me there.
Mhm.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was like, because there's only 3 games of real consequence being played on Sunday. Pittsburgh at Cleveland, Jets at Buffalo, and really that's all about Buffalo. Buffalo
right.
cannot lose again.
Right.
Holy smokes, and especially in front of their
And the
home
Jets
fans.
already beat them this year, right?
Yes. So that was the
Was that game
opener.
one? Yeah.
That was the Thursday night opener. The whole NFL, right? The whole of the NFL was watching. When was that? Monday Night Football. Monday
No,
Night
that was
Football.
the first Monday night game.
First Monday Night Football. The whole of the NFL was watching.
and Aaron Rodgers got hurt 4 snaps into the game.
He ran out with the American flag, and people were posting it as his 2023 season highlight.
That was also the night that we got the Jets
Damn
fan who ESPN cut to that Jets fan sitting in the front row, and he just bah!
Oh yeah, just middle bird. Yeah. So Pittsburgh at Cleveland, Jets at Buffalo,
By the way,
Minnesota at Denver. Go ahead.
How insane is it that we're like Pittsburgh at Cleveland? There's some real consequences in this
Dude,
game.
It's huge.
Oh, I
my-
know.
The
I'm just
Bengals are
saying,
last
it's-
place in that division.
It's
So
Pittsburgh and
I
Cleveland.
know. And like Deshaun Watson's out for the year. Pittsburgh is starting Kenny Pickett still. I mean, it's going to be Pickett, PJ Walker, FTW. WTF is really what it should be.
No
don't
kidding.
forget RG3.
Yeah, well,
Ooh, yeah, he
actually,
wants
can we
back
play
in.
that clip? Can we find that real quick, Fletch? If you could Google it or,
His,
or
his
find it on
resume, this is
Dude.
his LinkedIn profile. I think is where you find this.
Listen to me when I tell you. there is a lot of things that old Richie would do. Okay.
Okay.
You know, desperation has led me to do some strange things in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Examples.
Well, do we really have to?
I seem to remember a Jeggings story.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. I mean, I could tell the Cliff Notes
Cliff
version.
Notes, quick.
There was a time back in 2011 where the NFL owners were locking out the players, and I was rehabbing a shoulder surgery. You can have the shoulder surgery done with the team docs, but you cannot rehab with the team during an NFL lockout. You're not allowed to go to the facility. So I had to find some other physical therapist to go get my physical therapy from. So this is probably like months. I'm still wearing the arm sling, and I'm living in the city of Boston.
This isn't Cliff Notes.
And I'm getting PT
Kind of Cliff Notey.
with the Red Sox training staff.
This has nothing to do with you pooping your pants.
Hang on a second.
What?
I'm getting there. You have to set the scene, Ben. You have to savor the flavor. So I wake up one morning and I walk to my PT appointment. It's on the 4th floor of an office building. So as I'm riding the elevator, I let one go and I guessed wrong. And I wasn't wearing any underwear. I was just wearing sweats.
Are you wearing any underwear right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
But this, you know how sometimes you
It
wake
was a
up in the
different
morning
time.
and
It was a
you,
different
well,
time.
no, you're like, I'm just gonna pull on the sweats. I'm not doing anything. It was like truly one of those days where they were gonna like rub the shoulder down. They were gonna throw a little ice on it. I wasn't even going in there to like train at all. So I'm like, I'm just going in my pajamas is the thought process. Well, now I have a situation to deal with as I'm riding this elevator. I get to the 4th floor, the door's open. I'm not leaving this elevator until I figure out the damage I've done. The doors close and I look down and boys, I could not be seen in public. So I am now riding this elevator up and down 4th floor to the basement, to the 2nd floor. People are walking on and immediately I'm aware that they are perturbed by the odor that I'm emanating. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. Now they can't see the damage because I'm literally standing in a corner of the elevator. Imagine how creepy it would be if a 310-pound man in his pajamas was wearing an arm sling staring at you as you walked into an elevator and it stinks like the heavens. So anyways, I finally realized there's a garage because somebody came in from the garage and went up to I'd never been in the garage before. I'm like, well, the garage is underground. It's dark. Like I'm going to the garage and that's my next step. No plan after that. Go down to the garage. And so I just start walking through the garage, trying to find like, maybe there's an exit closer to my apartment, which is 5 blocks away. Nothing was making sense in my inside of my own head. And I am literally, this is how creepy I was. I'm literally walking around the garage facing people.
So they can't see the back.
So they can't see the back.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Imagine how scared you would be again. I looked like an escaped insane patient. Like it was terrifying. So finally, I'm like, I have no choice. Like I have to walk home just a mess.
Yeah.
Like somebody's going to snap a picture. This is going to end up on, Barstool or something.
Right,
This is going
right.
to be the worst day of my life.
Right.
So I mean, it felt like 20 minutes. That's what it felt like. I was just like, oh, I guess I'm going. So I start walking and out of the corner of my eye, I see in the back seat of this beat up Honda Civic a pair of what looked like jeans. And I'm like, this is a Hail Mary. But if this back door to this car is open, I'm putting on those jeans. And so I pull the car door open and I start putting on what I thought were jeans. They weren't jeans. They were jeggings. They were leggings that are painted like jeans, and they are tearing at the seams. This is obviously a small woman's pants, and I got them somehow up over myself and kicked everything else under her car. I still to this day, I feel awful. And then removed my shirt to also help clean up this disaster and ran home in an arm sling and a pair of ill-fitting jeggings. Like that's how that day went.
It's too bad that
It's
picture
good.
didn't end up on
It's good.
Barstool.
I was running so fast, nobody knew what was going on. In fact, I've told you guys this part of the story. I was running. When I left the garage, I was sprinting so quickly that people started running with me because they thought I was running from apparent danger.
Oh, you had a Forrest Gump situation.
Oh yeah, like people were just like, oh, like I could see people turn and were scared and were running with me for a couple of steps and then
So-
they'd slow down.
This was your most desperate moment in your life.
Yeah,
You want to hear RG3's?
yeah.
So Robert Griffin III has been out of the league for, is it 8 years now? It's been a while.
Let's look up what was his last.
I mean,
year.
he was rookie of the year. Then he had that brutal knee injury. He kind of bounced around a little bit, and then he's been out of the league. He's been working with ESPN. I think it's been 8 years. But this was him yesterday doing a little video for the Cleveland Browns.
Going over the mountain.
Dude, this has to be a joke. Like when I first saw this, I was thinking like, there's no way this guy is for real.
This is AI generated?
I thought either somebody generated it or Robert Griffin III was like hoaxing all of us.
No, it's very, very real. In
Oh,
fact, a few
yeah.
weeks ago, there was a interview that RG3 and Cam Newton did. I don't know if it was Cam on RG3's podcast or RG3 on Cam's podcast. It was some combination of that. And RG3 was going down the top available quarterbacks out there for teams with injured quarterbacks can go pick up. And he included himself on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Hey, look, RG3, I can manage a game and I can slide now. You should hire me.
I could throw the ball 80 yards.
Oh, I can throw the ball.
Dude,
I can throw the ball
he
over
can
the
run-
mountains.
He can run a 4.3. He can throw the ball. He's Uncle Rico.
Yeah.
I mean, he went full Uncle Rico on us.
Doesn't this feel like you're in high school and you're calling the girl again and the girl said no already?
Or
And you're like, but look at me.
like, okay, look,
I can slide.
I can slide now. I can slide now. Look, it was a problem before.
Yeah.
Kid couldn't slide.
remember when you said like I was too short? I grew.
Yeah.
I grew 2 inches. I got back from my pediatrician. She said I grew.
I've been eating Flintstone vitamins, and now I can slide.
I'm not 5'8" anymore. I'm 5'10" and a half, and my name's Ben Fletcher. Anyways, look, the
And now
point
we're-
is,
see,
What? I'm
No, it's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay. We were-
it's fine.
all of our short kings out there need a leader.
collectively we're having fun at RG3's expense, and somehow it got twisted to me when there's literally a dude admitting to pooping his pants and stealing a woman's leggings. Never, it's all right. Hurt people. I get it, guys.
You know what?
You know?
Here's the thing. You can't take a joke.
I can
and-
take a joke.
And it's
I can take
it's
a joke.
unfortunate because every time I do, you start whining and it's the worst. I can't believe he called me short. You're not short. I never said you were short. I just said you were
You're
5'10".
5'10". You're
I'm not
yeah.
5'10". I'm 6 foot. I'm 6 foot.
I'm just
damn it.
also
hold
all
on.
I said was the short kings out there need a king.
Like 5'10" isn't
What-
short.
If the short kings are looking for a king, it means that it's the tallest of the short people. So you're tall.
Short people got no reason. Short people got no reason.
Oh.
Thursday night football last night. Ravens beat the Bengals 34-20. Joe Burrow goes down with a wrist injury. The NFL now investigating why the Bengals did not list quarterback Joe Burrow on their injury report when the team posted a photo of him wearing a wrist brace on Wednesday night as he appeared to be hampered with the injury early in the Thursday night game that he later left. That's what the league has confirmed today. Ravens tight end Mark Andrews, his season most likely over, had a nasty ankle injury, and now John Harbaugh upset over the hip drop tackle that ended his season. And OBJ, is he officially back? He had his best game since 2019, 116 yards on 4 catches, the most receiving yards in a game for Odell Beckham since week 2, 2019. It's been a minute.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, but he looked pretty good out there. In baseball, two-way superstar Shohei Ohtani claimed his second unanimous American League MVP award last night. But before his name was called, he was on a video. He's got his puppy dog sitting next to him. They say, "Hey, you win. You're MVP." The dog gave him a high five.
Dude,
Damn, that's cool.
I
That's
love
the
dogs.
coolest.
I love dogs. I wish I had that dog instead of my dog.
I want my dog to give me high fives.
My dog can't see anymore. Like if I brought her to an award ceremony, people would be like, "Okay, should we try to corner that pest? Like, are we sure it's not going to attack him?"
You guys want to laugh at the misfortune of others?
Of course.
Obviously.
So quickly
It's
here.
a weird setup, just a heads up.
Yeah, it is.
This feels like a cancellation.
No, it's not. I promise.
Okay.
But the F1 races are in Las Vegas. I think it's for the first time ever.
Yeah.
And it was this big, they've years and years planning this. They're shutting down portions of the strip just for this. And
Yeah.
it's like supposed to be this huge
Portions.
event.
It's like the whole damn thing.
Yeah. So about 6 months ago, tickets to get in were wildly expensive and they were selling. But yesterday, you could get in about half the cost of the initial sale price. Yesterday, during the practice runs, as they were all getting ready to go and driving their cars, the Ferrari car hits a loose manhole cover and it's
Whoops.
a disaster. The car ends up sliding, sparks getting shot up. There's wild video from it from one of the
Yeah.
hotel rooms. But that's ruined that Ferrari car. They will not be able to race this weekend. And everything got shut down after like 20 minutes last night.
Well, yeah, there was a Ferrari F1 car. Which, I mean, so these F1 cars are what, a half an inch above the ground?
And millions of dollars.
So
Right.
now they're not talking about when there is a second race, this car won't be able to compete. It's if there is a second race because they don't trust the integrity of the track.
Oh no.
Yeah, so the manhole covers, I don't believe it was sticking up, but what happens is when the cars go over the top of them, it creates such force that they lift up. So as maybe a car had gone in front of it and possibly moved that cover, then that Ferrari car went over the top of it and destroyed it.
The video's insane. It
Ah,
looks
it's
like
crazy.
it looks like a plane that doesn't have landing gear kind of landing on the ground and all the sparks shooting up behind it.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
the car went on for like a football field and a half.
They're going so fast, and to your point, they're so light and they're so slick, like they're aerodynamic. That I mean, that anytime there's a crash in F1, it proposes a real risk to spectators, to the drivers themselves. Might actually be the safest place nearby an F1 crash is the cockpit of one of these cars because
right.
like they
Well, it's a
truly
missile.
yeah, they truly like they build them in there like like they're riding a missile. But yeah, when tires go off and start bouncing down the course, I mean, people have been killed by tires. It's crazy. So it's crazy that they allow these to be put on inside of cities, but I mean, these are skilled drivers and they do it in Monaco and they do it everywhere. They
Well,
do
these
it
people
they
are
one in
pissed.
Austin.
The
So
F1
fans who paid are pissed. F1, the car owners are freaking furious.
Furious. I'm
Because
sure.
this is millions of dollars. And it's not going well in Las Vegas.
Well, imagine the insurance policies you need to take out just in case it is your fault that one of these courses get damaged. Like if you're promoting this F1 race, like you're essentially, I don't know who it would be, but somebody's in charge and somebody has to pay when things go wrong. So if a manhole cover, like, I mean, civilly,
Whoops.
I mean, yeah, I'd assume you like a driver or a team can sue the city of Las Vegas, maybe.
How
Unless
was that
they're-
not thought about beforehand?
Oh, it's crazy. You got to
Well-
weld those shut.
Gosh, do you?
I
Is that what they
suppose.
do?
Or can you asphalt over it? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I guess you would weld it shut for the race
And then
only,
grind
and then
it.
and then undo. I don't know. or just race on a normal track, not in the middle of town. I mean, I know the pictures are cool, but seems like you could just have a racetrack.
That's wild. That's wild. So that's going well.
Yeah, so
Right.
far so good. Also, the A is going to be there. So
Yeah.
Vegas is really doing it right.
Which, by the way, I've heard such an interesting mixture of reactions to it. I was listening to John and Jim yesterday about the A's moving and John Fisher and Jim. It's rare that I can say this, but I actually sided with Jim Russell in a debate that they had. Like Jim was like, yeah, like this is a big problem in Major League Baseball. Like this is only the second move since the merger, and this will potentially precede other moves. And it's awful for fan bases. And literally, Schaefer's like, "Why are we talking about this?"
Yeah, shut up, Jim.
He's like, "What? Like, I don't. What does this have to do with the Padres?" And
This
then
is
Jim's
not
like,
Aztecs or Padres. I don't care.
"Well, right. That's almost what he was saying." He was like, "Yeah, what does this have to do with the Padres?" He was like, "Well." He was like the juxtaposition between owner John Fisher and the owner we just lost, Peter Seidler. Like,
Did he use the word
he
juxtaposition?
did not.
He doesn't know that word. No
No.
chance.
Wow.
But he said that, he's like, isn't there such like a obvious and glaring difference here, and how lucky we were to have Peter Seidler, and what changes may come on the other side of his passing with the Padres organization. Like, you don't always get a great owner. Look at the Oakland A's, and it's not like Oakland gets to choose who their owner is.
Yeah.
Who knows what's next for the Padres? And literally, I mean, I'm listening to the show, and John Schaefer's just like, yeah, whatever. But I do think it's a big deal. I think
it's a huge deal.
Yeah.
And knowing what we know about what happens when a team leaves a city, like it's happened here in San Diego a couple of times.
yeah.
And so what we know is that it leaves a hole, and it leaves a generational hole, because the Chargers were like family to a lot of people that lived in San Diego. The A's, I promise you, were like family to a lot of people that didn't just live in Oakland, but a lot of people that lived in all of Northern California. That A's fan base is a tough one, man, and they've been through a lot. They've been through a lot with a cheap owner, and now to have that cheap owner who you still supported because that was your team just pick up everything and get out of town to go to Las Vegas, that sucks.
Oh,
That
dude.
absolutely does suck. Absolutely. But I mean, what about Vegas baseball fans? I mean, are now
Who
there?
actually lives in Las Vegas?
I-
I'm sorry. Like,
no, you don't think anybody actually lives in Vegas?
I think that it is the Raiders fans who are there. I would be so curious. The people that actually go to games inside Allegiant Stadium, what percentage are people that actually live in Las Vegas?
Yeah, there's a lot of cities now, if you think about it. Rams and Chargers in LA, Las Vegas Raiders, where the fan bases are kind of transient. Like where, I mean, those three cities, and don't get me wrong, there will be a generation of Raiders fans birthed and grow up watching the Raiders in that market, but they're not there yet. Same thing with the LA teams. It's a curiosity. I mean, are there Las Vegas residents? And I'm not even talking about just near the Strip. I'm talking about the surrounding suburbs.
Clark County?
yeah.
There's-
Henderson.
Yeah, there's plenty of them.
Clark County, there's as many people as in San Diego
Yeah.
County,
Yeah.
like 3 million people.
So there's certainly an ability to garner interest.
Why the hell would that many people decide to live in the desert?
It's cheap.
Oh
It's
no,
cheap.
no, not just that. There's a lot of money in the desert.
Yeah,
That's the
there
reason
is.
why the Oakland A's are moving to the
Yeah,
desert.
well,
That's the
yeah,
reason why
that desert, there's a lot of money.
The Oakland Raiders moved. I mean, now all of a sudden, like everybody's gonna be like, yeah, all of a sudden everybody here is from the Bay Area.
Right.
Why is that? Well,
Right,
it's
right.
because you moved all of their teams to Las Vegas. You moved
Maybe I
all
should
of them.
move to Las Vegas.
Maybe
Well,
you should
yeah,
do the show remote.
Weird. You come up with,
I'll totally still do the show with you guys.
Come up with some random ideas. Just a heads up. We should fast.
Immediately. Like, I want to do this now-ish.
Jared Smith coming up next.
Yeah, I mean, but yes, ripping a team from a city, it does hurt your heart, and it'll hurt you all the way down to your souls.
Soles of your feet.
Mhm.
I'm glad you mentioned that because at the Good Feet store, you could get those fixed. Now, they're not bringing the Oakland A's back to Oakland. They're not bringing the Raiders back to Oakland. They're not bringing the Chargers back to San Diego. But you know what they can do? They can take care of from your foot, ankle, knee, hip, back pain.
Maybe stand up a little taller,
Stand up, a lot taller.
right?
In fact, some people would say 5'10" plus even. Look, the point is with these arch supports from the Good Feet store, they're going to change your posture. They're going to change the way you walk. They're going to change the way you feel. I started wearing mine. This is over a year ago, year and a half ago. And I remember walking out of the store being like, oh, that's strange. I guess I was walking the wrong way the whole time. And I was, because I kept waking up feeling better and better each day, to the point now where I don't really have to think about my back pain. It's that much in the rearview mirror. So if you're like me, you struggle with lower body joint pain and you want to get better, goodfeet.com to book your first appointment today. 200 plus locations around the United States and overseas. Get to the Good Feet store today.
Our betting analyst, Jared Smith, will get you set up for the weekend. Your best bet coming up next.
This update is presented by Staples Stores. Starting off here in the NFL, Ravens beat the Bengals 34-20 last night in Baltimore. That loss, though, is the last thing the Bengals are worried about. Quarterback Joe Burrow leaving the game in the first half with a wrist injury. Burrow declining to comment last night. It has been reported he's going to get an MRI on his wrist today. Bad news for the Ravens in the win. Star tight end Mark Andrews injured his ankle in the win. Coach John Harbaugh said he will most likely most likely will miss the rest of the season. Busy weekend for San Diego State, starting with basketball. The boys are heading to Las Vegas for the Continental Tire main event at the T-Mobile Arena. They open up with St. Mary's tonight. Depending on that result, they got Xavier or Washington on Sunday. Aztecs football heading to San Jose State tomorrow. They take on the Spartans. Pregame coverage will get underway at 5:30. Kickoff at 7:30. Staples Holiday Deals means amazing savings for the holiday season on hot tech like laptops, game systems, earbuds, and more. Right now, save up to $350 on select PCs. In-store only. Offer ends 11/18. See an associate for details. Have yourself a merry little holiday deal at Staples.
Big Rashidi and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. We have your chance for you to win $1,000 every single day. Just listen for the keyword, then enter it at sportssd.com. It's presented by Loan Pronto. Stop paying insane rates on your credit cards. Loan Pronto can help you tap the equity in your home so you can be credit card debt free in less than a week. LoanPronto.com. It's LoanPronto.com. And the 714 on the text line pointed out that apparently I forgot a K.
Listen,
In the
ankle injuries can be a real pain in the butt. We've always said that.
I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I said it when Fletch asked me, and he went back and listened, and turns out
Not only did he say it, but he called it a nasty ankle injury.
Yeah, if you subtract the K from that sentence, all of a sudden you have a very, very different show.
The emphasis, man, was ridiculous.
Listen,
Wow.
either way, you would think he would go out. I mean, can you imagine a season injury?
Wow.
Season.
I'll tell you what, I'll take the ankle any day of the week. I will take the ankle. Holy smokes. Okay, joining us on the phone as he does every single Friday at this time, Jared Smith, lead betting analyst, Fox Sports Radio, co-host on Countdown to Kickoff. You'll hear that tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific time. Jared Smith on the show. How you doing this morning, bud?
Oh, I'm good. I'm actually not as good as the Bengals last night because, man, that was a really rough one for them.
No question. Okay, so Burrow goes out with the wrist injury. Here's the crazy thing. They had pictures that they posted to their own social media of him wearing a wrist brace getting off the plane in Baltimore. And now, not only do they potentially lose their starting quarterback for a little while, but the NFL most likely will launch an investigation looking into whether or not this was an injury that occurred at practice, whether or not they should have reported it prior to the game. So they could be fined or even lose draft picks over this. So a really bad night for the Bengals. Let me ask this question based on that. So the reason why there's so much controversy over things like this is because there's such an interest from sports bettors around the country. My assumption is this changes the line dramatically in this game if you know that a starting quarterback has a throwing side wrist injury, and also it might even change the total on this game, right?
Oh, it would change both. And based off of how good Joe Burrow is, right? If it was a Justin Fields type of injury, it won't move as much as it would a Mahomes or Burrow or one of the guys that's, viewed as an MVP elite quarterback. I think there's two ways to look at this. One, there was no cahoots here. Like, I don't think the Bengals in the NFL are trying to, get money out of gamblers by withholding this information. And I think a lot of the people I saw on social media that I interact with feel that way. Like they feel slighted. They bet the Bengals, they bet a Burrow prop, and they feel like they should get their money back because there's conspiracy there. That's, let's take the tinfoil hats off of our head. What did need to happen and what should happen, the Bengals need to be more, forthcoming. And the reason they did it was to get an edge on the Ravens. They didn't do it to, screw over any people betting on the game. So, but that being said, there are a lot of people that are, putting big money on these games. And because of all the interest that the gambling markets are attracting to the NFL needs to be a lot sharper with how they handle injuries. And that's why they're investigating this. That's why this will probably become something. But it's not this big conspiracy theory. It's just the Bengals were trying to be hush hush. So the Ravens didn't know, and unfortunately, they found out. Everyone.
Jared, you mentioned Patrick Mahomes. His Chiefs are going to be taking on the Eagles this week. The Eagles, basically the top of every power ranking that I pull up. However, Chiefs favored in this one. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I don't know what power rankings you're looking at. I would put the Eagles at the top.
No, that's what I'm saying. Eagles are on top.
Yeah, I would not. I would
Oh,
not,
would not.
put the Eagles. I would not. Yeah, I think based on a lot of the ratings I'm looking at right now, the Niners are still the best team in the league. And I would say teams like the Ravens and even the Chiefs clearly are ahead of the Eagles right now. I think maybe based off of this line, the Eagles would probably be a 1-point favorite on a neutral field. We're giving about 1.5 to 2 points of home field advantage right now in the NFL. And because of how important the 3 is, the fact that this is, I would call this 2.75, right? It's -2.5, but it's -120 odds. So you got to pay a little bit more to lay the 2.5 points. So we kind of call that 2.75, right? Split the difference between 2.5 and 3. But it doesn't fully get to the 3, and the 3 is so important. You know, almost 15% of games land on 3. So the fact that it hasn't gotten there tells me that we're about the Chiefs are a slight favorite on a neutral. So I still think Kansas City is better than Philly. I think the defense really is where the gap is here. The Chiefs defense, I think, is a top 5 unit, guys. Steve Spagnuolo is turning back the clock. He's got a young secondary, and those dudes get after the passer up front. Like, there's not a weak spot on this Chiefs defense. And the Eagles defense has not been good. I mean, they're outside the top 15 in a lot of metrics that I look at. And that is, I would say, one of the biggest surprises of the year for me, is how poorly the Eagles defense has played. And if you go look at their schedule over the next few weeks, I mean, goodness gracious, they play the Chiefs, they play the Cowboys, they play the Niners, they play the Bills the next 4 games. I mean, they could lose all 4 of those games and be 8-5. And all of a sudden, the NFC East is just wide open. So I think Dallas is a very intriguing team in the NFC East right now because of the schedule for the Eagles and because of how they've looked. But they're still 8-1. They've got the best record in the league, right? Jalen Hurts is still a great quarterback. So this should be a fantastic game. But I think Mahomes laying less than a field goal at home feels like a must bet.
Jared, week 11, is this the time you start looking at some future bets and start throwing some stuff down, whether that's Super Bowl winner, division winners, playoff odds, anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of monitoring that market throughout the season. I don't think there's an ideal time to bet it. I think it's just whenever the market tells you it's time to bet it, right? It could be in week 1. Some guy loses and the number drops dramatically and you might get a really good price. It could be this week. It could be next week. It could be, whenever the timing seems right. This particular week, I haven't bet anything in the futures market. But again, talking about that Eagles and that Cowboys dynamic in the NFC East, I mean, I don't think the Eagles deserve to be a really strong favorite in that division right now for 2 reasons. Again, because of the way that they've played, but their schedule the next 3 weeks, again, is 4 weeks, is absolutely brutal. And you can get the Cowboys right now at like +4 to 1, basically +350, 4 to 1 to win the NFC East. So I think that's a decent bet to make, or just fade the Eagles over the next couple weeks. And either way, you're going to kind of get your money.
All right, Jared, we do it every single week. What is your best bet on the board?
That's a good question. I had a couple that I really liked this week. I think the Rams are on my list. I think the Panthers are on my list. Sneaky good spot for the Panthers this week. Really bad situation for the Cowboys. I don't know if they're going to win that game outright, but I think Panthers +10.5 is a decent bet. Actually, this is the one I'll give you. I think the Dolphins are in a really good spot. Mike McDaniel is a bully in these games. They've covered 4 straight when they're a favorite of 7 or more. They're hosting the Raiders this week. They're a 13.5-point favorite. And it's a whopper of a number. But this is a Raiders team that is as fat as happy as you're going to get. They've won 2 in a row under their interim head coach. And the Dolphins are just in this ideal spot, right? Off the bye, after a loss. They, got beat by the Chiefs in Germany a couple weeks ago. And when they manage down in competition and they play bad teams, they like to put the pedal down. So I think the Dolphins laying less than 2 touchdowns this week against the Raiders is probably the best place to park their money.
Awesome. We appreciate it every single week of the NFL season. Jared, thanks so much for jumping on.
Good luck, guys.
There he goes, Jared Smith. You can hear him tomorrow morning, countdown to kickoff on Fox Sports Radio.
You cheating son of a.
Okay.
What?
Well, just relax.
What?
I mean, so many things. to do.
Wait. Whoa.
Jared's a friend.
I mean, you're just gonna go canoodle with him and Brian. No,
He's a very good friend. And honestly, they mean nothing to me.
Mm-hmm.
How about that? Every time I'm with them, I'm thinking of you too.
The Jared Smith and Brian No one doesn't really tick me off that much. It's the Mike Harmon ones that really get me.
That might happen next week. Look,
Wow.
here's the problem.
Sick to my stomach.
I'm sorry. That's the problem. The problem is I'm sorry, and I shouldn't have to feel sorry. Okay. You know what I'm also not sorry about is the amount of weight that I've lost.
How damn good you look.
Yeah.
That's probably why all these other radio hosts want a piece of you.
Yeah.
Well,
You're so trim now.
could have something to do. I'm not 100% sure. I never asked. I thought that they were in it for my personality. Look, the point is, yeah, I have lost some lbs, man. SDFatLoss.com is the way that I've done it. So if you're like me and the holiday season's coming up and you're going to stave off all of your diet changes until the new year and you're going to get right back on, you're going to start working out, you're going to keep the promise this time. You won't.
Yeah.
Look, I mean,
Yeah.
January 1st will come and it'll pass. You'll buy the gym membership. You won't go. In fact, honestly, just save the money going to the gym and do this right now. Call SDFatLoss.com. Get in touch with Wayne and Chloe, and they're going to guide you through the process. A process that actually works. I lost over 35 pounds. Travis lost over 30.
Yep.
Ben Fletcher lost over 40 pounds. It's not impossible. I think that's the problem that I kept running up against is like, yeah, well, how am I going to do this? When do I have enough time? What plan do I want to follow? Every single plan that I followed hasn't worked. Well, when you have a team around you and you have an integrated app that you can go to that's going to give you advice and, recipe ideas, and you have two people who you can call at any time of the day to discuss the current situation you're in, well, all of a sudden you don't feel so alone anymore. Also, if you get a spouse involved, you get a buddy involved, you do it together with somebody like we have over here at Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, it makes it all that much more easy. So again, SCFatLoss.com, 858-665-3211. Get with Wayne and Chloe. They're going to get the waistline trim and they're going to get the LBs down before the holiday season. I can promise you that. Okay, more next. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you. So we've just gotten an update from the NFL, specifically the Cleveland Browns. Well, source reports around the Cleveland Browns that Joe Flacco is going to be in for a workout with Cleveland.
Not
So-
RG3?
So that's an interesting wrinkle to the story. So we're sitting here, we're kind of teasing about the desperation of that RG3 sound. And if you missed it, he went on his own podcast and he was talking about how he runs a 4.340 still. And he can
slide now.
he can slide now.
He can
Man,
throw the football clear over the mountains.
Did
Over
I
there.
tell you how good I was at sliding?
he said he can throw the football 80 yards. 80 yards, y'all. Okay, so he's given his stats. And
What if
he's-
we're the jerks and RG3 comes out and is like a stud?
He's awesome.
Well, here's the deal. He might be. It still reeks of desperation. It's
Right.
still a very, very funny Uncle Rico-esque post to put out there on your social media. However, when you start looking through available QBs and you're the Cleveland Browns and you're like, you know who's going to come in and save the day for us? Joe Flacco. All of a sudden, in a stunning change of events, RG3's not looking so bad anymore.
That is true. But I mean, to RG3's point, if you're bringing Joe Flacco in, you're just looking for a game manager, right? I
Oh,
mean, you're
yeah.
not looking for a guy that's going to come out here and just light it up.
No.
So, I mean, RG3 going, look, I watched that game. All they had to do was manage the game. I mean, I can manage a game. So I mean, it looks like he's right.
Well, here's the thing. Joe Flacco was in the NFL a season ago. I believe he was backing up
That is
Kyle
It's true.
Wilson with the
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson. I keep calling him Kyle Wilson, but Zach Wilson with the New York Jets.
And he got some play time. He was
Mhm.
benched for Mike White. So
Yeah.
let's remember that.
Well, was that the same year?
Let's
Yeah.
bring that up.
Was that the same year? 2022? Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. Yeah, it was. He was. Yeah. That's crazy. But no, that was back in 2022. We're skipping a year. He's been out for a year. Yeah. His last appearance on NFL roster. Oh, that was last season. Why am I?
2022 was a year ago.
Yeah, it was. It certainly
It's
was.
almost 2024 though,
You're damn right.
which
it
is crazy.
Gosh,
God,
yeah.
we are 6 days away from carving turkey.
Well, and listen, I just visited the future. 2024 is nice, boys. But yeah, so here in 2023, Flacco was a backup quarterback in New York a year ago. RG3's been out of the league for 8 years.
it's true. You have to knock some dust, some rust off, clear
Dude.
the cobwebs.
I mean, what's interesting, the way he started the conversation is, I know more about football now than I have in my entire life. Of course you do. You remained an NFL analyst. You remained a college football analyst. You know, you do learn as you go. You know, you almost, what's happened to me over my evolution, moving on from my playing career to a broadcasting career, is I look at the game more as a coach now than I do as a player. It's very strange.
I was wrong about RG3. He played 8 seasons. He was actually in the league backing up in Baltimore in 2020.
He was?
He was?
Yeah, I guess.
What?
Wait,
No
what?
He played
way.
in 4 games in 2020.
In 2020?
Yeah, 8
Yeah.
completions, 14 attempts. So
I
it's not
don't,
like he
I
was
don't
playing a
remember
ton.
this.
RG3
Wow.
was
In 20
okay.
In
Well,
2019, he played in 7 games, 23 completions. In 2018, yeah, 3 games played, 2 completions on 6 attempts.
So in the past 6 years, he's played 10 games.
Yes.
Okay.
this is the
All right.
reason why everything Ben says
No,
we need to
I-
fact check it, because he literally
That's,
said
I went
that.
and fact checked myself. I thought
I
that
know.
in that video he
We
said
should have done it.
in the last 8 years, it turns out 8 playing years, that was his career.
Right.
Okay. All right.
So
All right.
Flacco,
Huh.
I guess,
I don't recall him being in the league at all in 2020.
Because he really was. He was backing up Lamar Jackson.
yeah. Look, the
He might
reality,
have been the backup's backup.
the reality of the situation is he's appropriately appraised himself as a backup quarterback. I will give him that.
Yep.
Like he was talking about all the things that you would expect out of a backup quarterback during the soliloquy on his podcast, where he was begging the Browns to sign him.
I work out every day. I use Lamar Jackson's entire gym every single day. I am ready to play. In fact, it's slide now.
I have to disclose this. I'm also a partner
Yeah.
with the entire gym. No, look, he was at one point in his career an electric playmaker. Obviously he's not that anymore, and he's been out of the league for 3 years. Joe Flacco, 38 years old. Outside of the years in Baltimore, has not looked like a starting quarterback. And really, you could make an argument at times in Baltimore whether or not he looked like a starting quarterback. It's not going well for the Browns. They're working out Flacco. They are, I would at very least think they'd be entertaining a conversation with RG3 and his agent. Maybe.
Yeah, I would think they
For
would.
some reason, I doubt it.
I don't think you want to open that Pandora's box.
I just think if it's been, even if it is 3 years, 3 years is a long time to not play football.
And this goes back to sort of the brass tacks of Colin Kaepernick. Like a lot of talent evaluators now go when they're answering questions, like, and they can honestly say, like, we can't sign a quarterback who's been out of the league that long. So RG3 is probably getting there too, but the Browns are desperate. We're desperate for a drink. It's a bar car Friday.
Ow!
Yeah. We got Tony Kanja, Keg and Bottle coming in next. 10 locations around San Diego. And we're going to have Liquid Alchemist join us in studio. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch when we return.
It's hour 3 on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. That means Bar Card Friday, just minutes away. This update is presented by Staples Stores. Ravens took down the Bengals 34-20 in Baltimore. Loss is the last thing that the Cincinnati Bengals are worried about after quarterback Joe Burrow leaves the game in the first half with an apparent wrist injury. Burrow declining to comment last night. It has been reported that he will get an MRI on his wrist today. Bad news for the Ravens in the win. Star tight end Mark Andrews injures his ankle. Coach John Harbaugh said he will most likely miss the rest of the season. Busy weekend for San Diego State, starting with basketball. The boys heading to Las Vegas for the Continental Tire main event at the T-Mobile Arena. They open up with St. Mary's tonight. Depending on that result, they got either Xavier or Washington on Sunday. Aztecs football heading to San Jose State tomorrow. They'll take on the Spartans. Pregame coverage gets going at 5:30. Teddy and Rich on the call at 7:30. Staples Holiday Deals means amazing savings for the holiday season, on hot tech like laptops, game system, earbuds, and more. Right now, save up to $350 on select PCs. In-store only. Offer ends 11/18. See an associate for details. Have yourself a merry little holiday deal at Staples.
Thank God it's Friday! It's been a long week and the fellas are thirsty. It's time to cruise into the weekend. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch present Bar Card Friday. Brought to you by Keg and Bottle.
Yeah, happy Friday to those who celebrate. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you on this Friday, and it's a beautiful one. Especially more so now, we have Tony Kanja, owner-operator of Keg and Bottle, in studio getting set up with Liquid Alchemist, who is our guest today. This is going to be a ton of fun. Also in studio, Cassandra.
Yeah, Cassandra. Come
from
on, just have a
Sales.
seat right here. You're fine.
Good morning, Cass. So, are you interested in a couple of festive beverages today? Okay, she could be convinced. She
Yeah,
could be
that's right.
convinced. This is going to be a good time.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. So, Liquid Alchemist is a company that majors in mixers. So what a mixer is basically is it's a cocktail in a bottle. You just got to add the booze.
That's right.
And joining us right now is Kyle from Liquid Alchemist to discuss exactly how this company came to be, what we're going to be partaking in. I believe there's 4 different cocktails here, Kyle, that are on the menu. I'm pumped. I know these guys are pumped. And this is going to get us right for the holiday season, yeah?
Yeah, I whipped up a couple quick holiday seasonal cocktails, 4 different flavors, different varieties for the holidays.
That's awesome. Yeah, we appreciate it so much. And we are watching Tony Kanja unload the bevy of liquors and bottles and fresh fruit on the bar cart that we set up here in the studio every day.
Well,
and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, and here's the deal, right? I mean, Thanksgiving time, everybody's coming over to your house. What maybe the focal point is the turkey, but the things people remember, right? The things that really polish things up are the drink selections.
No doubt.
Right.
And let's not forget, Bar Cart Friday started because of Thanksgiving.
That is correct.
When we were talking about what we were thankful for, and of course, being the 3 of us, we were thankful for booze.
Yeah, right. And so we, I remember, the father of the modern cocktail, Dale DeGroff, jumped on the show. And
King of cocktails.
We've
He's
never
won every award known to man.
never
right.
looked back since. So, Kyle, you're joining a esteemed company here this morning. We've had a lot of people walk through the halls here at San Diego Sports 760 and bring in their beverages. So tell us what's different about Liquid Alchemist. Like what does a customer heading down to Keg and Bottle this weekend or anytime going to come home with if they bring home a bottle of this stuff?
So Liquid Alchemist set apart from any other mixer that you're going to find on your shelf, especially here in Southern California, because we are a Southern California brand. We were founded 14 years ago right here in Los Angeles. Bartender of the year, 2009, created the company from his kitchen. Started with ginger. Then we found orgeat. Orgeat kind of struck gold in the tiki market. So you can't make a Mai Tai without an orgeat, or at least you shouldn't. And then flash forward, we have 14 years later, 14 flavors. The big thing about us is that we are an all natural premium like food product. So you're not going to find stabilizers and synthetic ingredients that you can't pronounce. For instance, our coconut only has 4 ingredients: coconut milk,
Wow.
coconut cream, sugar, water, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm holding the Let's say I'm holding the bottle of peach here, Kyle, and it looks almost like I pressed peaches and put juice in a bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would actually strongly recommend that you guys try that peach by itself. It tastes like biting into the flesh of a peach.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Okay. So if you're looking to spruce up your holiday season or make a cocktail any time of year, Liquid Alchemist is for you. Now, we do a sports show. Curious, are you up in LA? Is that where headquarters are for you? What teams do you watch? You watch the Rams and the Chargers. I'm assuming everybody in LA is just Rams, Chargers, Rams, Chargers. They don't care about the Lakers or the Dodgers at all.
Yeah. It's really challenging because I'm extremely from Boston.
Oh, wow.
Okay. All right.
And so I'm not used to living in a city that has so many fair weather fans.
Right.
Yeah. So are you Pats, Red Sox, Bruins, Celtics all the way through?
All day. I got a Bruins tattoo on my foot from the year we won the cup, like all day.
That's awesome. That's
Okay,
awesome.
so-
By the way, everyone, I know we're getting some messages here. Yes, we will have those Legoland tickets for you shortly. You want to keep it locked in here. Legoland Holidays, a family 4-pack. It's presented by Hallmark Channel. So just hang on, everybody.
Yeah. Legoland.com/California for more details there. We'll get to those giveaways. We know that people are waiting for those. But yeah, so what do you think of the situation right now going on in New England? Mac Jones, Bill Belichick, 2-8 season. A lot of people calling for Billy B's head. And Mac Jones, should he be benched? Will he be benched this bye week? What are your thoughts?
I think there's only so many times we can talk about benching Mac Jones. Like, the kid's not showing the leadership in the locker room that's really necessary. You know, Vince Wilfork came out, called him out on it. He's like, look, you can't be losing your cool and having this like hair trigger all the time. You're supposed to be leading this franchise and you're way too volatile in the locker room. You're not showing leadership. And for Vince Wilfork to like come out of retirement and start tweeting about this, like it's not looking great. And I just genuinely don't know if this is the kid that we can bank the success of the franchise on. But at the same time, like, I also got to acknowledge, being the age that I'm at, I've been incredibly spoiled to be from New England. And we just may be going into like the early 90s dark ages of the Patriots.
Yeah. Well, I mean, things do ebb and flow. However, you still have arguably the greatest coach who's ever coached in the NFL at the helm of the team. Bill Belichick's still there, even if they move on from Mac Jones, whether it's this season or altogether.
And rumors swirling, he could come out to LA.
Well, yeah. Well,
Or Washington.
What's interesting is, Washington. What's interesting is I don't really at this point see him going anywhere. Could you imagine a situation where at this point in the season they move on from Bill Belichick?
I don't think so. I think Robert Kraft has too much like vested in Belichick at this point. And realistically, Belichick is 2 years, 3 years tops away from retirement in general. So I think they're just going to let him sunset. He has too much within the community of New England. And if you're going to restructure the franchise, you may as well close the chapter on the Belichick saga and then start fresh. So my gut tells me that they're shopping around and they're making plans for, the next 2 years, but they're not going to make anything like any rash decision and cut his career short in New England.
So we have this insane list of cocktails that we're going to try here on the show.
I was going to ask Tony. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Tony, here. Hang on.
Here,
there you go.
There he is. Question for you.
Yeah, what do you got?
Are we adding ice to this first one?
Ooh.
So we're adding hot water.
To the top, the nice and toddy?
Yep. So I've got all the ingredients ready. They're all mixed up. Do you want ice in there?
Now, Kyle,
No, that's a Kyle question.
I'll leave
It's
it
a
to
Kyle
you.
question.
Yeah, ice in the nice and toddy, or should we leave it hot?
You want to put ice in the shaking tin so that you mix your cocktail on ice, but then you're going to add that over hot water.
Okay.
Perfect.
That way,
Yeah,
you
right.
still get dilution into there, and you're not drinking like foolproof strength.
Okay, we're watching Tony and Dom mix up drinks here. Tony's actually mixing the drinks. Dom, salesperson
He's
extraordinaire.
running
Dom
support.
is
Yeah.
facilitating. I mean,
Well,
he's making things happen.
I
Let me tell
he
you.
was assisting.
There was one point where he clapped his hands together. He was like, "Good job, Tony. Good job, Tony." And I was like, "God,
Exactly.
Dom. I mean, these cocktails are gonna be great. Thank you, Dom."
Can I just say it smells wonderful in here?
We are enjoying
right?
the fragrance
Yeah.
and the aroma of this first cocktail, the Nice and Toddy. So, why was this selected, Kyle? Why is this one of the go-tos using Liquid Alchemist?
So I started doing a peach hot toddy years ago, in effort to try and find a way to make peach, which is traditionally a more summertime fruit, still accessible in the winter when it was out of season. So that's when I started using Liquid Alchemist, because the flavors are available all year round, regardless of whether they're in season or not. And then I really wanted to do a peach bourbon toddy. I shifted ultimately into a Scotch rum toddy. And when we first released this cocktail, we called it the Rowdy Toddy Piper. But
Yes.
that name got
Yes.
kicked out. So
Fantastic.
I had to change the name to something more holiday. So we went with Toddy or Nice.
Now tell
Nice.
me that Roddy Piper was the reason why he got kicked out, because he sued you for infringement of name, image, and likeness.
The reason it got kicked out is because I would put it on menus as Scotch, but use a Canadian whiskey. And that was a joke that made sense only to me.
Oh my gosh, that is perfect. Yeah, he was a Canadian masquerading as a Scotchman.
Yeah.
Wow, you really thought this through.
Yeah, no kidding.
This is incredible.
No kidding.
But so anyways, the name left, but the drink remains, because I'm assuming it's a favorite. It smells.
It does.
Oh my
Let's
gosh, this
let's
is
do this. Let's do
incredible.
this. As Tony's finishing these up here to pass them out, let's do a quick halftime, because I think we have an update here with Carissa Thompson.
Yeah, what do we got?
And then we'll hit this on the other side. We'll get a little taste.
I see a bunch of guys playing with their technique and fundamentals.
It's halftime. All right, Fletch, what do you got for us?
So we got the obvious last night. Thursday night football. Ravens beat the Bengals. Joe Burrow got hurt. Mark Andrews had a what, Travis?
It was just a really nasty ankle.
Ankle.
You gotta
Important to
remember.
pronounce the
Gotta
K.
make sure, Cass, when you say ankle, you want to make sure the K is in there. Otherwise, it's a totally different injury. Which I reported earlier.
that could be a career ender.
We got Aztecs basketball tonight out in Las Vegas at the Continental Tire main event. You're going to
For
listen
me?
to that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. As soon as the show's over, Rich is hopping on a plane that he will pilot himself all the way to San
That's
Jose
right.
State,
That's right.
where the Aztecs
That's
will be
right.
taking on the Spartans tomorrow night. Rich on color for that game. And then the Carissa Thompson news, which all of a sudden has been on CNN this morning. It's been on Fox News this morning. News director Cliff Albert is even sending us stories
That's
about
correct.
this. So you know it's gone next level.
One word emails. Whoa.
She has released a statement this morning.
Let's hear it, because she has been lambasted over the past 20 hours after admitting to faking sideline reports.
Well, now she's admitting that she made up the admission.
Wait,
Okay.
What?
This is, I'll just read this straight
Hold
from
on,
her.
hold on.
This is her
Okay.
statement that she released. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room. I have a responsibility to myself and my employers to clarify what is being reported. When on a podcast this week, I said I would make up reports early in my career when I worked as a sideline reporter before I transitioned to my current host role. Working in media, I understand how important words are, and I chose the wrong words to describe the situation. I'm sorry. I have never lied about anything or been unethical during my time as a sports broadcaster.
Okay, so she didn't make up what she made up.
Okay.
Or she made up what she made up.
That's what she's saying.
Yeah,
she's
she-
saying she made up that she
Carissa-
made things up.
Right, that's
Carissa
correct.
Thompson said she did not do what she said she did.
Okay.
I
got
don't
it.
know. I don't know what to buy anymore.
Okay. Liquid Alchemist, a
Let's
keg and
do that,
bottle.
let's do
That's
that.
what you
Let's
buy.
That's what
do
I
that.
buy. That is absolutely what you buy. 10
Oh my
locations all throughout San Diego County.
Yeah,
by
but
the way.
Everyone's a liar except Tony Khan.
That is 1,000,000%
Oh,
true.
Damn honest man.
Hang on here. Hang on. we got a
Yeah, let's
crew
taste.
full of very reputable people in this
Oh,
room.
this is
Oh,
warm.
yeah. Are
Yeah.
you kidding me? Sure.
Yeah. Sure. Listen to everything Fletch says. All right, let's taste the toddy or nice. Okay.
Over there.
Sorry, what was Mark Andrews' injury this morning?
It was an ankle.
That was a mispronunciation.
Of-
Okay.
A word. Everybody screws that up.
Everybody screws up that word. Everybody.
Freudian slip. Anyways, look, the point is,
We saying I was dealing with some kind of injury?
yeah, that is what I'm saying.
All right.
Um,
Okay, here we go.
We
Here
have the nice and toddy, so we're gonna give this a sip. Thank you, Kyle. Here we go.
Okay. Okay. 'Tis the season.
Dude, that is
fun.
that
It's
is
warm.
Kyle.
It's got the citrus.
Yeah.
Right. The peaches is
So I don't
Ooh.
want
Super
to pretend like I'm a doctor because I'm not. But no, hang on.
No, I thought the exact same thing.
For now on, if I have it's cold and flu
Oh,
season.
this is sleepy time.
Dude,
This is it.
This is what you have
I got
right
a little,
before
I got a
bed.
little tickle in my throat, which I may just say I have one every night.
Nice and toddy, Kyle. Woo! This is great stuff, man.
Okay.
This
yeah.
is different and super unique, and I am here for it.
Yeah, this is the first warm, I think. Oh no, that's
We had
not
like
true.
that hot chocolate thing.
Yeah,
there,
we did have
Now,
that. That was fun.
All
too.
of a sudden, I get this weird feeling to play the bagpipes, though.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Kyle.
I don't think Roddy Piper's with us anymore.
That's fine. I'll play in his memory. I'll play in his memory.
That's right.
Good
Were you a big WWF fan, Kyle, or was it WWE by the time you started watching?
It was still WWF, and I was 10 years old once, just like everybody else.
Yeah. Same. I don't watch that at all now. Not that I'm not 10.
Well, this is no, you certainly don't.
That's
Nobody would
crazy.
ever confuse you with somebody who watches wrestling as an adult. Absolutely not. All right,
Yeah.
844-570-1360. Before we continue on and partake in our next cocktail here on a Bar Cart Friday, brought to you by Keg and Bottle, we're here with Liquid Alchemist. We got to give away these Legoland tickets. So 844-570-1360, a family 4-pack to Legoland holidays. It's going on. Fun shows, events. Featured characters, snow in Southern California. There's going to be snow at Legoland. So go check it out. Legoland.com/California for more details. But caller number 5 is going to win that 4-pack of tickets.
We could probably, after we take this winner here, we could probably fire up the jazz band. I feel like, with the warm toddy or nice.
So we're moving on to the next cocktail here. Tony Conja, what are you whipping up?
So this one's the winter old fashioned.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Kyle
All right.
said, let's start off the winter right. So we're gonna do a little winter old fashioned. We're gonna use Frey Ranch, any rye, but we love Frey Ranch.
Yeah, we do.
Absolutely.
So we today we're not highlighting the spirits, but when you got to call for a spirit, you call for a really good one. So we're throwing Frey Ranch in there. We're doing some apple spice. So the Liquid Alchemist that we're going to do today is the apple spice for this one to make the winter old fashioned. We're going to do a really cool bitter, and this is cardamom.
Oh,
We're
nice.
gonna add a little
Oh, wow.
cardamom in there. We're going to garnish with a
Fancy
little orange
bottle.
slice. And
Look at
so
us.
off I go to make this for you guys.
Okay.
All
Wow.
Tony Conja, very busy man this morning. We love it.
The other day, I made myself an old fashioned. I used the Frey Ranch. I actually finished the bottle. I was getting ready to post a photo to Tony saying, I'm out.
Need a refill.
Yeah.
So Kyle, apple spice in this winter old fashioned. Tell us a little bit about the apple spice mixer here from Liquid Alchemist.
So the apple spice is what you picture in your head when you think about apple, because in reality, apple doesn't taste anything like apple spice. The apple spice here, it's going to be apple, ginger, clove, nutmeg, cinnamon. So it's all of those additional baking spices that result in more of like an apple pie kind of profile. So when we mix that with the rye instead of bourbon, we pull in those like ancient grains, the rye spice. So you get more of that toasted vanilla notes out of the rye. You throw in the cardamom as well, and you've just got this super, super easy 3-touch cocktail. This is going to be the one you want to make for Thanksgiving, because this is the one that you can make in a very large batch and you can just pour out, or you can put in a pitcher and have it self-serve. So for the gatherings, like this was the cocktail I would go with.
Smart, very smart. That's also my next question. Of like, is this the one you want to have on hand?
You can make it ahead.
Yep.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, all of these recipes and we'll link Liquid Alchemist and Keg and Bottle to our Instagram account, Twitter, TikTok. You're going to see us live after the show. We're going to let you know how to make these cocktails for yourself. Yeah, Kyle, I mean, so far the Nice and Toddy was an absolute home run. We're over here hitting dingers. Actually, by the way, he also mentioned something. oddly enough, my high school punk rock band was named Three Touch Cocktail.
Well,
Yeah, so weird.
Wow.
What is it?
wow.
Do I have to take a
One
lap?
was high ankle sprain.
What-
And yes, you do.
What- Here's-
Congratulations to loyal listener Corey who won those Legoland tickets. Next week we will have Aztecs football tickets as well as some more theme park tickets. So you want to keep it locked to Big Rich TD and Fletch.
my high school band was actually called Corduroy 69.
Oh my god.
And why
was-
do I feel like that's not even a lie?
That's not a lie. That is absolutely not a lie.
What
And
genre?
that's
of
why we
music?
love you.
It was heavy metal.
Were you slapping the bass?
Yeah, I was the slapping the bass player. That was me. Kyle, you in a band ever?
Yeah, I was in a band, a lot of bands.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. What are you, man? What do you play?
I started out as a vocalist because I couldn't do anything else.
There it is. Doing Creed covers, right?
All Creed covers, butt rock all night.
All Creed all the time.
Can you take me higher?
Huge Scott Stapp fans
Yeah.
over here. We just won't.
We should get Creed tattoos.
We should. We absolutely should.
Cass, you want a Creed tattoo? Yeah. Okay. Cass is in.
She's in.
Cass
She's
is
in. Kim, are you in? Kim's not
no,
in. She's got to think about it.
Nickelback.
She's not in for that. Nickelback tattoos
Yeah.
only. Okay. I'm out of breath.
This hot
That's right.
toddy's making my tummy feel nice.
Dude,
Yep.
yeah. This is a type of drink that, like, honestly, I'm so glad that I ran into now. Like, you
Mhm.
ever think like, oh gosh, it was timing, right? This is the drink for the holiday season.
Right.
Nice and toddy.
This kicks it off here. Also, Liquid Alchemist, just these bottles alone. I know, Rich, you mentioned this earlier, but like if you have these in your cabinet when you open them up, that's when like the crowd goes, oh, they're the real deal.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fun
They're about
stuff.
to make some drinks here.
That's fun stuff. All right.
yeah.
I think we're gonna
you
scoot. Oh no,
Yeah.
we got him. Oh,
We got
okay.
it. Okay.
Holy
All right, we're
smokes, I was
passing around,
about to
passing
say
around.
we're gonna get to the winter old fashioned on the other side. We got time for this.
Yeah, we got everybody's
Yeah.
got time for that.
All right, so walk us through it, Kyle. The
Yeah.
winter old fashioned as we take our
Gosh.
first sips.
Ooh-wee.
We're picking up these ancient grains. You said this is a nice pairing between the apple spice and the notes that you find in the bourbon or in the rye.
Yeah, so rye's got a big, spice profile as opposed to a sweeter, smoother bourbon. So that's going to play nicely with all of those like ginger and clove, nutmeg, cinnamon notes you're going to get out of that apple spice. And then it's
Mhm.
going to finish on that like strong apple pie note.
There
my
is
gosh.
nothing
Okay,
wrong with this
hang on.
drink.
I'm loving the way this
my
smells right now. I'm loving everything about this.
This is crazy good. This is crazy good.
Oh my goodness.
This is holidays in a cup. This is Thanksgiving dessert. On your I'm not eating pie this year. This is what I'm having.
Dude,
No,
Uncle
you know
Marv
what?
asleep on the armchair would love this.
No
Mhm.
joke, Kyle. Yeah, you're gonna want to make this in a large batch because everybody's gonna want one of these.
That's so good.
Wow.
Ooh, it's so good.
I finally got to trace mine.
Yeah.
You guys are correct.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is fantastic.
Kyle's
Tony's
great
gonna be
recipe.
Uncle Marv.
So this was the
Good recipe,
apple spice liquid alchemy that you can pick up at Keg and Bottle, 10 locations all around San Diego. And we will post the recipe online so you can duplicate this. And trust us, you want to duplicate this.
All right, Kyle, when we come back, we
Wow.
know we have the 2 more cocktails, couple more NFL storylines we need to get to. It's a Bar Car Friday brought to you by Keg and Bottle Liquid Alchemist Mixers in studio with us. A lot more when we return.
Are you in need of some inflation compensation?
Listen to us weekdays in the 10, 11, 1, 2, 3, and 4 o'clock hours.
For the nationwide keyword.
When you hear it, go online to sportsSD.com and enter it for a chance to win $1,000. Stop paying insane interest rates on your credit cards. Loan Pronto can help you tap the equity in your home so you can be credit card debt free.
Man, oh man, love this time of year. Love the holiday season, but won't lie, it is tricky, especially for me. Why? I like to snack, all right? I like to partake of the Thanksgiving festivities, the turkey, the stuffing, all the things. Well, if you need a little help navigating through that, like I needed a little help navigating some weight loss here, sdfatloss.com. That's where you want to go. Trust me. Look, they 9 weeks ago, month and a half or 2.5 months ago, roughly that, sdfatloss.com, they came along, they looked at me and they're like, look, pal,
You are so fat.
You are so fat. You need our help. And they did. In that 2.5 months, I've lost 30 pounds. And now in the maintenance phase, keeping that weight off. That's the key, right? I mean, look, we can do things. We can slow down the eating. We can walk through that line, but without the help along the way here, somebody keeping us accountable and showing us the correct way to do this, you'll gain it all back. Because look, I've tried the fad diets. I've tried counting points. I've tried counting calories. I've tried injections. I've tried just exercise and have not lost weight like I did here at SDFatLoss.com. You don't need to do that stuff. Not with SDFatLoss.com. The coaches, the staff, they'll show you the right way to do it, just like they showed us all here how to do it. Go to SDFatLoss.com. Schedule your free consultation today. You got nothing to lose except those unwanted pounds. SDFatLoss.com. That's SDFatLoss.com.
More Bar Cart Friday with Liquid Alchemist and Kyle coming up next on a Bar Cart Friday. This update is presented by AutoZone. Ravens beat the Bengals 34-20 in Baltimore on Thursday Night Football. Joe Burrow leaves the game with injury. Mark Andrews leaves the game with injury. Mark Andrews may be out for the season. Busy weekend for San Diego State basketball. The boys are heading to Las Vegas for the Continental Tire main event at the T-Mobile Arena. They got St. Mary's tonight. Depending on that game, they'll play either Xavier or Washington on Sunday. Aztecs football heading to San Jose State tomorrow. They'll take on the Spartans. Pregame coverage gets going at 5:30. Kickoff at 7:30. Listen to all the Aztecs right here on San Diego Sports 760 and the free iHeartRadio app. Starting Stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Big Rashidi and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760, rolling through a Bar Card Friday. Brought to you by Keg and Bottle. 10 locations all throughout San Diego County. Or if you're up in Santa Barbara, you can visit one there. Or maybe you're out in Chicago and you're like, how am I going to get my Liquid Alchemist out here in Chicago? Well, guess what? You can stop by a Keg and Bottle out there as well.
Really incredible stuff so far today with Kyle from Liquid Alchemist in studio today, joining us on a Bar Car Friday. And so far, we've tried the Nice and Toddy, which is the elixir for all that ails you this holiday season. And then we followed
And it
that
makes
up.
you feel nice and naughty.
Wow.
Well, you know, for some.
That's a lap right there. Come on.
Yeah, you take
a lap.
You sick,
There we go.
sick
There we
pervert.
go. There
Every
we go.
single day.
It's
We're
gotta
worrying
be-
about what he does with his time when he's not here.
Yeah.
We can only supervise him for so long. Yeah.
That's right.
Sorry, Kyle.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kyle, for what Fletch said. That was
It's-
awful.
Yeah. We digress. Yeah.
So Nice and Toddy, which, you know what? I was thinking it kind of makes you feel naughty. Yeah. Anyways.
Well,
Also, we
wait,
tried
hold on. Wait, Fletch, is that how you run? You keep your arms to your side?
What's that?
You said you were an athlete. You run with your arms.
You
at
run with your
side?
arms down to your side?
I mean, I was doing a goofy bit in front of the window.
Oh,
okay.
no,
all right.
no.
All
You guys
right.
have seen me run.
I don't think I have, actually. I don't think we
filmed
ever.
the whole hype video out there.
Whoa,
Whoa,
no,
yeah,
no. Wait a second.
yeah.
He said we saw him run. He didn't run at
No,
all
no,
during that
no,
basketball
no,
game.
uh-uh.
He stepped
During
off
the hype
court
video I did, I ran
immediately.
stairs.
Out of breath.
Red button.
Oh,
There we
sorry.
go. Yeah,
Tony's
so
microphone's
Much
back
better.
on.
So
There
we
we
saw
go.
him run when he plays basketball.
Yeah, I was gonna say he didn't run.
He didn't run
when he was
during
on the
any
court,
basketball.
Unfortunately.
Wow.
Yeah.
No offense, Fletch. Of course, none taken. Winter Old Fashioned was delicious with the apple spice from Liquid Alchemist. It was-
Tony's shaking up drinks right
dude,
now.
and
Sure is.
Tony's a busy guy. He's
There-
going to be breaking a sweat here today.
We're gonna
as
need a
I might.
larger table for
We're-
the bar cart.
whipping up.
Well, he goes, I'll make it simple. Right? I'll make it simple. It'll only be like 2 ingredients
There's
times like 30.
Hold on. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 items minus the fruit for these 4 drinks right now.
Coming up.
However, if you do break them down per drink, there's only a few per.
Only a few per.
No, it's fine.
Right.
What is Tony complaining about?
Yeah.
I'm not complaining. This is fun.
Coming up.
All I know is Jay's getting a raise.
Well, yeah. Oh, no question. Jay Kennedy, he's doing. I mean, that's a glue guy over there at KMB Bistro, down there in Del Cerro, by the way. Attached to Keg and Bottle, Del Cerro. Awesome location. Okay, penicillin is next. So, Kyle, which of the Liquid Alchemist mixers are we using for the penicillin? And walk us through this this ingredient list and this recipe.
So we're using the Liquid Alchemist ginger for this. Penicillin is probably the newest cocktail that we can collectively add to the classics list. It came out in the early 2000s. Sam Ross from Milk and Honey, legendary bar program. The penicillin, it's a Scotch-based cocktail, Scotch, lemon, ginger, honey syrup, and then a smokier Scotch floating on top, sometimes as a mist. Really phenomenal, juicy citrus, winter forward cocktail. It should be on every classics menu around the country now.
So I have a question for you. We're doing the honey. You want that in the shaker? Or you want that in the bottom? How are we doing that?
Just
Right in the shaker.
Little bar spoon in the shaker.
In
Yeah.
the shaker.
Little
Okay.
bar spoon in the shaker is exactly what happened to Mark Andrews.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
That's
High ankle injury. Ankle.
And that's not a lap.
That might be a lap. God,
Golly,
we're
come on.
it adds up. I mean, we're going to be in the best shape of our lives for Thanksgiving dinner if this continues. So, Kyle, the penicillin, you mentioned that At certain places, they'll actually mist some of the smokier scotch over the top of the drink.
Yeah, that's how I do it at my bar.
Oh, neat. Okay, so like you'll take like I don't know, like a Lagavulin or something like that, and you'll throw it into like an aerosol can. How does that work?
Think about like a perfume bottle, essentially.
okay.
Just not as
Yeah.
fancy. You'll throw some like Lafroig in there, and you just hit the top so that you get the aromatics of the smoke without a whole bunch of that flavor to really throw the cocktail off.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So the penicillin is next. Looking forward to that. Also, we got a busy slate of games coming up this NFL weekend. And by busy, I mean it's probably on paper the worst slate of games in the NFL so far. There's like 3 of real consequence coming up.
So it's
between-
going to be the best week in like 5 years.
Yeah, did we say that about was it week 10 or
Week 10.
9?
It was last
Okay.
week. There
was
ended up
last
being
week.
6 games that came down to a final field goal kicked. Hey, crazy stat about the Baltimore Ravens that TD you're going to be crazy into. They have led for all but like 32 minutes so far this season.
Oh,
So they've led in their games. The only team that has ever topped them since the merger in the NFL is the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
In one of their Super Bowl winning seasons from was it the 80s? When was the last Super Bowl in the 80s?
No.
They didn't win a Super Bowl in the 80s. They
Yeah.
won in 97 and 98.
I'm pulling up the
98, with
actual stat.
Elway. This
The
one's for
1990
John.
Yeah.
The 1998 Broncos trailed for less time through 11 games. They're the only other team to be that low.
That team it was undefeated, I believe, until week 13. And then they lost to the Giants, who were terrible that year.
What's crazy about the Baltimore Ravens, and we saw it last night on Thursday Night Football, is it's just a team who's built up to play with a lead. Like,
yeah, if they get out to a 7-0 lead, you're screwed.
oh, I
Kirk
mean,
Herbstreit said it 5 times on the broadcast last night that especially with Jake Browning coming in,
Yep.
the Bengals can't top that.
no, and they're front runners. They can lean on you the right way. They can possess the ball. They like to run the football with Lamar and that whole gang out of the backfield. Now,
Gus Edwards looks like it hurts when you tackle him.
Keaton Mitchell,
Yeah, stud.
speedster out of the backfield, and also a pretty good blocker. There were a couple of passes when he was in there on the play action fakes where he was lighting dudes up. So, yeah, Baltimore it feels like they're built for the distance, but you say that with hesitance because you worry about Lamar Jackson. All right, moving off of that, onto maybe some of our listeners' weekend plans as they're following the cocktail list we just enjoy. The next installment, the penicillin.
This one's got a smoky nose.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's give this a sip, boys.
So while you're sipping, the scotch we picked was Aberfeldy 12-year-old. So you're
Okay.
enjoying a really nice Aberfeldy 12-year-old scotch, which is amazing. And then the smokiness you just mentioned, we used the second scotch to float on top, and we used the Ardbeg. And so that gives you that peat, which gives
Yeah.
you the smokiness.
Okay, all right.
A little bit of that earthy, that mossy taste. Okay, so this is my new favorite drink. So this is made with the ginger syrup from Liquid Alchemist.
Yes.
I mean, this hits all the buttons for me. Kyle, you're a genius.
That's all Sam Ross. I can't take any credit.
Well,
Sam's
Sam
not
Ross
here.
is a
Yes,
genius.
Sam is not here, so take all the credit, Kyle. Every bit of it.
This
Wow.
is so good. But the ginger really comes through with that Liquid Alchemist mixer. I mean, that
Mhm.
shines through this
Right.
drink. So good, man.
And it's just enough sweetness.
There's enough sweetness. And then I tried it both ways with and without the floater
Yeah.
of the smokiness. So it's almost overpowerly sweet without it. And then once you add the smokiness in it, it balances out, gives you that smokiness to it. So if you're a sweet guy, do the same recipe without the smokiness. and
Okay.
it's good. But for me, adding that second layer of scotch hits the spot.
This one right here, I feel like I'm at the bar out in New York. There's snow falling outside.
Yeah.
I need something to warm me up
Swanky,
inside a little bit.
pick up.
Yeah.
This
What I'm
is solid.
talking about.
This is solid.
Yeah.
All right.
Fletch is in there throwing high fives.
Yeah. We've got one more cocktail, and it's going to be the Blood Orange Spritz coming up here in just a few moments. Kyle from Liquid Alchemist joining us on a Bar Car Friday. Keg and Bottle. Tony Kanja, both the owner and also current bartender in studio today, absolutely crushing these drinks. Kyle, you would be proud, man.
Yeah.
You should see this. He's sweating
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah. Cass, sales manager extraordinaire, is looking at this bottle of champagne right now. And she's like, finally.
Oh, yeah. Finally.
Yeah. So we got that coming up here next.
What are Cass's chips?
Oh, no. She
Oh,
likes
Ruffles.
the Ruffles
Yeah,
with
Ruffles,
the ridges.
onion dip,
With champagne and
Yeah.
onion dip.
champagne, Ruffles, and onion dip.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, how
You're
can
right.
it get any better?
As it turns out, That's the breakfast of champions. All right, we don't have Ruffles, but we do have Liquid Alchemist and the Blood Orange Spritz coming up next. And a couple final thoughts about the busy weekend for the Aztecs on the other side. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch on a Bar Car Friday. Woo! So the holiday season is here. You're going to need to be getting around, everybody hitting the road, and everybody starts thinking about the vehicles they're showing up to the holiday parties in, right? You know, sometimes you've been putting it off for a while. The car keeps breaking down. It's making that funny sound. The brakes are going, whatever it may be. And you think to yourself, gosh, I want a reliable car or truck or SUV. That was the spot I was in around this time 5 years ago. I was having breakdowns, a bunch of them in my, I won't embarrass the brand, but a different car company. And it was awful. And in fact, it made me late to work one day. And that was it. That was the final straw. I went to my San Diego County Toyota dealers and I got in touch with the great people over there. And I said, what can I do? Like, what can I do to get in the right car for the family? So I explained my family size, the fact that I have little kids, car seats in the back. I need space when people are coming to town. It's the holidays coming up. I need tow space because there are times where we're taking a trailer. I need luggage space because there are times we're getting to the airport. And everybody knows when you're traveling with little kids, you bring more luggage than you've ever carried in your entire life. What car is for me? They chose the 4Runner. And then they said, that's it. We're just going to let you know. And we want you to inspect it. I had questions. They answered them. They weren't pushy. Your San Diego County Toyota dealers, they're incredible. They just let you make the decision. Have you ever walked onto a car lot and felt that way? I did. It was the first time in my life. Toyota, they're reliable. They're kind and professional. They have this new Beyond Zero lineup of greener vehicles with a wide range of electrified vehicles. If you're into, sipping gas instead of guzzling it. You look at the prices on the gas pumps these days, they're only going up. New vehicles arriving daily at your Toyota dealer. They're all available now. Toyota.com is where you need to go to check it out. And visit with your friendly folks at San Diego County Toyota dealers. A busy weekend for the Aztecs. We'll update you there. And it's a Bar Card Friday here in studio. Keg and Bottle, Liquid Alchemist. That's next. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. We're live. We're back with you in studio.
Yeah.
It's a Bar Car Friday. We got new friends joining us by the moment. It's always a festive occasion around the holidays here at iHeart San Diego, but especially when you bring in numerous bottles of booze and delicious mixers. Tony Conja playing bartender here on a Bar Car Friday.
Yeah.
Making it happen.
Yeah.
Owner, operator, keg and bottle, 10 locations around San Diego to get your fix. And if you're looking to get your fix, you're going to want to look up Liquid Alchemist. So we've partaken in their peach, their ginger, and their apple spice syrup so far. They've all been home runs. We've had 3 different drinks, the Nice and Toddy, the Winter Old Fashioned, and the Penicillin. We're moving on now to the Blood Orange Spritz, and we're joined by Kyle with Liquid Alchemist. This one reads summertime to me, Kyle. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, I mean, spritzes are generally considered to be summer drinks, but they are being had year round right now. The spritz is like the most popular cocktail. With this, I wanted to use blood orange because blood oranges are in season. So by using the blood orange, we give it more of that, winter holiday vibe. The drink itself still going to be citrusy, juicy, airy, light, bright, refreshing, but I wanted to give you guys a low ABV option to tail out the show with, something that, if you're cooking for the holidays, this is something you can continue to session while you're working on all the dishes in the kitchen.
This one looks awesome.
And once
Just wait
again,
until you taste this, guys.
Okay,
once
hang on.
again, Kyle. So the Liquid Alchemist. So this is the blood orange syrup. It smells like a fresh squeezed blood orange. I mean, it doesn't smell like there's anything else in
yeah.
this.
And just wait till you taste it. It's incredible.
Okay,
Okay.
hang on.
All right,
Let's give this a
little
sip.
taste, everybody. Mm. Oh wow.
So anybody that likes Aperol, so a couple things that everyone at home needs to know. So Aperol Spritz is the best-selling spritz on the market right now.
Yeah.
So all the rage.
All the rage. So that's what we used in it. We used the whole bottle.
Oh
Right?
whoa.
But then adding this blood orange from Liquid Alchemist in there.
Yeah.
I mean,
let me see.
sometimes people say, the spritz is a little tart, that dry feeling. at the
Yeah,
end,
yeah.
Right. This totally balanced it out, right, guys?
Yeah.
Everyone that's tasting it. And
so good.
and like you said, you smelled it on the nose, the blood orange, and it's a testament to what Liquid Alchemist does with everything being fresh, and the taste all the way through from the front of the palate to the end to the finish hits the spot.
Well, so what's the ingredients of this drink here, Tony?
Well, it was pretty simple, Thank God, thank you. We just added.
God's not here right now. It's Kyle.
It's just
Thank Kyle.
Yeah.
So we used La Marca Prosecco in this one. You can use your favorite champagne. We use Aperol, right? And then we used his blood orange.
So
And
just
then
3 ingredients.
3 main ingredients.
Ooh,
and
wow.
we shook it up, stirred it a little bit, threw it in there, made it taste delicious.
Oh, you could add a little club soda to spritz it up if you'd
Well,
like, or
we-
you can drink it without it.
Yeah,
like we're doing.
we did the soda in there just to
Oh, you
give
did?
it, yeah, we did some soda in there just to make it right, and then so 3/4 ounces of that. So
Oh,
we'll have the recipes for everyone to do that.
Yeah. This is a party in a
Oh,
glass.
dude, yeah.
I mean, this is it.
Hey, Kyle, again, with the blood orange, the peach, the apple spice, the ginger, all that we've tried from Liquid Alchemist, absolutely awesome. We appreciate it, man. Big round of applause for Kyle.
Yeah.
Liquid Alchemist. Dude, thank you so much. So, Tony, real quick, price point on Liquid Alchemist at
So
Keg and Bottle?
they're not inexpensive.
Okay.
I will tell
But
you that.
I'll tell you what, you're paying for
You're
quality.
paying for,
Exactly
you're paying for
correct.
premium. So regular price on these is $39.99. Right now on the website, they're discounted for everybody that's part of the show. So you're paying $29.99 for the Liquid Alchemist.
Awesome.
Yeah. You know what though? I mean, you want to. I'm telling you want to bump up your drink game.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah, you need to put
And it goes a long way. Look how much we use. We have a room full of people, those of you that are watching on YouTube. I mean, and we only used 1/4 of the bottle to make a pretty large batch. So
Right.
it goes a long way, and it tastes all the way through. It's worth every penny.
Yeah, we got 12, 14 drinks here out of a
Yep.
1/4 of a bottle.
That's pretty amazing.
And when you said not inexpensive, I was expecting $60 or $70.
Right.
Yeah.
$30.
29's not
Yep.
bad.
Yep.
Yeah. These days, $20 that usually doesn't go a long way, but it will in terms of Liquid Alchemist, available at Keg and Bottle, kegendbottle.com as well. Hey, Kyle, again, we appreciate your time today. This was awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Happy to help you get some drinks.
And a happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. This was awesome. This is how Bar Car Friday should be. Really quick update. Aztecs are going to be on the road tonight. The men's basketball team, they're heading out to Vegas, the Continental Tires main event, a tournament they'll play in. They're going to face St. Mary's tonight, and then it's either Xavier or Washington in the second round. Yeah, Ben?
Yep. And it's at T-Mobile Arena. This is one of the biggest preseason tournaments in all of college basketball. So you're going to want to tune in. Top 25 talent all over the court, future NBA players all over the court. Tonight, you'll listen to it right here on San Diego Sports 760. Yep. And then Big Rich hopping on a plane tomorrow or today.
Tonight, yeah. We're
heading to San Jose.
Going to San Jose. Final road game for the Aztecs football team. Yep. They face the Spartans. So looking for a win for the seniors. Obviously, also looking for a head coach. The San Diego State Aztec football team, Brady Hoke, announced his retirement earlier this week.
Come watch both games at KMB tonight and tomorrow, and have a drink. Have some of these drinks. Jay will make them for you.
KMB Bistro, Jay Kennedy bartending all weekend long. Check out your Aztecs on your local programming.
Talk to him about his thong.
Yeah, ask Jay if he's wearing the thong.
Thank you to Tony. Thank you to Kyle. Thank you to the Alchemist. Liquid Alchemist. Thank you to everybody who's been a part of this show, all the sales staff in studio with us as well. Listen tonight for Aztecs coverage. Darren Smith, John and Jim both have Legoland tickets to give away, so keep it tuned in to San Diego Sports 760 all day long.
Protect your ankles.
Nobody wants an ankle injury.
Oh, Travis, I'm so glad you brought that up. That's how we can finish the show.
Let's pull that up really quick.
I don't think we can.
It's okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Ravens tight end Mark Andrews, his season most likely over, had a nasty ankle injury.
Got to remember that K and ankle, kids.
Wow. Yeah. You know what? Remember the K and cake and bottle, everybody. Yeah.
All right. We'll catch you next week. The Hurts next.
Live on TikTok, Big Rich TD Fletch.